You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Paula Casso is suing her former best friend, Nicole Martinez, for the return or value of a Kia Soul and her personal belongings.
Order. All rise. It's case number 92 on the calendar in the matter of Casso versus Martinez.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Casso, you and the defendant were good friends for many years. According to your complaint, in 2016, Ms. Martinez bought another car. She had a car on which there was a loan. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You made an agreement with her in 2016, according to you, to take over payments on the car. You would pay for the car, pay for the insurance, and when the car was paid off, it would be yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the agreement?
No, ma'am.
That's baloney.
I'm sorry, but it's not. I have text messages. I have everything. I can show you what I have.
Okay, so what you're telling me is from 2016 to 2019, the plaintiff paid on the car, and she was just using it. After she finished paying off the car, she was going to give the car back
Originally,
to you.
it was...
She was going to give your position. She paid on the car, and your position is that your agreement with her was that she was going to pay on the car and pay for the insurance, but when the car was paid off, she was going to give it back to you.
She couldn't even pay the payment. She never made a payment. She never did it on time. She was constantly late.
That's not what I asked you.
And
what I asked you was...
I let her borrow the car.
That's your position, that you let her borrow the car.
I felt bad for her. She's my best friend. I've done a million things for her. I can name them.
Miss Martinez, I just asked you a question. My question to you was, that's what you want me to believe, that she took the car.
No, ma'am, that's the truth.
That she took the car, she paid for the car, and at the end, when the car was paid off, she was going to give it back to you.
She didn't even make the payment. She was constantly behind. She was 3 months behind when I took it away.
Can I see
3 months behind.
Can I see the title to the car? Where's the title to the car?
The title is in my glove compartment. It's in the car that she has.
Can I see the title to the car?
It's not in the glove compartment. It's not there. I don't know what she did with it. I don't know if she stole it. I don't know what she did with it. The title is my name. The car's paid off. The loan is in my name. I'm not sure what else I need to show you.
I have text messages.
Just a second. It's very, very easy. The car was not in your possession from 2016. What month, Ms. Casso?
May.
May of 2016.
That's not true. September of 2016.
September of 2016.
September.
There's something wrong with you. I mean, are you trying to make the person who has to decide this case dislike you?
No, I would love for you to love me.
No, just a second. Is that what you're trying to do? You said to yourself, I'm going to make the jury who has to decide the facts in this case dislike me.
Your Honor.
Out. Out. You, out. Perfect. Was the car in your possession from December 2016 until March 23rd of 2019?
At times, yes, ma'am, it was.
Just a second. Tell me when that was. So far, I've May 2016 to March 2019. I would like you to tell me, I have a lot of papers there, in what period of time did you have physical possession of the car?
Multiple occasions.
No, that doesn't answer my question.
You want specific dates?
Yes, that's what I asked for. Specific dates when between December, she says May, say December of 2016 and March of 2019, you had possession of the car.
I don't have specific dates, Your Honor.
Okay. How much were the monthly payments?
$350 for the car and $100 for insurance.
Who were they made payable to?
I sent her the money.
How?
At first, and then as of October 10 is where I would send it through the Wells Fargo.
October of what year?
Oh, 2017.
May I see the proof of payments from October 2017?
Your Honor,
I didn't ask you a question. Well, what I see here, Ms. Casso, is that you made payments, but they weren't always the $350 a month.
No, I was.
You didn't pay for periods of time, according to this, and then you would make up payments, so you'd pay $100.
Yes, ma'am. I was late sometimes, yes.
All the time.
And
I'm just trying to help you.
No,
so
don't help me.
Okay.
Don't help me.
I won't help you anymore.
Don't help me.
Yes, ma'am,
I've been
I'm sorry.
doing this for 50 years. I don't
I'm
need any help.
I'm sorry.
So it looks as if you were inconsistent with your payments.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the total number of payments that you made equaled the total that you put down here, $5,545?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Right, so you had the car for 27 months,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's $7,000. You have here, you paid $5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then you didn't pay what you were supposed to pay.
Could you repeat that?
You were supposed to pay $7,000, and you didn't.
From what date?
I'm giving you every benefit of the doubt. I'm saying it's from December.
You are.
You said it's from before that. Before that, it would be even more months.
Yes. Well, there are some that are missing because I paid her cash or deposited her to her account.
No, that's not true.
I'm just going from these dates.
True at all.
From the date you said you started to pay her, by transferring it, you were supposed to pay her $7,000. You only paid her $5,000.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. And she took the car back.
Yes.
And you had the car for over 2 years, right? According to you, you had the car 2.5 years.
Yes.
And all you put into the car in the 2.5 years that you can prove is $5,500.
Yes. Because I opened that account in May of 2017.
All I'm telling you is you drove a car.
That's not
Consider it
true
this
either.
way. You didn't make all the payments you were supposed to make, and she repossessed the car. So I want you to figure it this way. If you rented a car for 2.5 years, you would have paid more than $200 a month for a car.
I know
Exactly.
for a fact, though, I paid her
You didn't-
everything that she needed.
No, but it's not true according to
Facts
this.
are right here. I can show you the facts. Sorry, I'm just...
Gave it to her. I have text messages proving that
Then
she
I'd
said
like
she would give me the
just to
title after I paid it off. We thought it was going to be paid off in May of 2018.
Again,
And so
not
she
true.
sent me that it was going to be like 5 more payments. And so then 5 more payments, that's when it was paid off. She said, give me $1,450 and I'll give you the title.
I'd like to see those text
I'd
messages.
like to see them, too.
I'd like to see the text messages. And that was in November of 2018. You transferred $1,450 to her. I'd
Yes.
like to see the text message to her. If she says, send me $1,450 and I'll send you the title, then that makes it easy.
Your Honor, can I show you what I have that I actually paid?
No, not your turn yet. I'll tell you when it's your turn.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's in the papers
no.
I gave you.
Oh, well, you gave me more than I asked for.
Okay, so maybe they're in the back.
Sir, would you show this to the defendant, please? Her payment to you of $1,450 is reflected here 2 days later.
I agree.
Okay, and you told her you would give her the title to the
Right,
car.
I agree, but this does not say $1,450. This is just saying when you pay me in full. She hasn't paid for the vehicle.
No.
She's paying what she assumes is full for her. So maybe it is in full for what she assumes she's doing. We never had an actual conversation. This is just
I
saying...
want you to read both pages of that text. You say to her, you owe me $1,450. You owed me $1,750. You paid $200 and then another $200. You owe me $1,450, and then you can have the title. 2 days later, she sent you $1,450. That was November 15th.
This page in the back does not say that.
Yes, it does.
It says $1,750.
Read on.
I just did.
No, just read on. Read where it says you owed me $1,750. You paid $200. You go through the numbers. Now you owe me $1,450.
Right, what she was behind in payments on, not in total in paying the car off full. The car, I paid $1,500 down, so I'm going to give her a free car. I'm going to let her pay the 1.5 years that I paid on it, and she's going to get a free car. She didn't pay me numerous times.
Just a second.
I'm paying $360 a month, and she's paying me $350. There's never a payment in full. That's what she owed me from behind, not paying me in full.
Can I have that, please? I want to see any payment that you made on the car after November of 2000. Listen to what I'm doing. You don't show me what I didn't ask for. You let me finish my statement. I want you to show me any payments that you made on the car after December of 2008 that you made on the car on or after December of 2018 after she sent you the $1,450. Just show me. Do you have any proof of payments of any payments?
Of course not, because it was paid off.
Do you have any proof of payments that you made on the car? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I am happy with the results, but I do wish I got my car back.
It's my car, my title, my car. It's very simple facts.
I guess it was just a altercation.
A physical altercation, Judge. Did you even hear anything about it?
Actually, she assaulted me first. I just defended myself.
Literally, altercation. There's everything. It's all here. And yeah, that's great.
Just an argument. I don't know.
Because she's a drunk idiot. Drunk idiot.
I have no idea. I guess she was never really a friend.
I don't know, but I'm glad that she's not my friend anymore. Very glad.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of King versus Willoughby. Step forward.
Nicole King is suing 25-year-old Rebecca Willoughby for the return of money she paid for a Toyota Solara.
Miss Willoughby, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Who do you live with?
Myself and my daughter.
How old is your daughter?
2 years old, Your Honor.
When was she 2?
May 4th.
Did you ever live with her father?
Yes.
Until when?
2017.
What month in 2017?
December.
What happened?
We separated.
Did you move or did he?
He did.
Where were you living in December of 2017? The address?
Tehachapi, California.
Address?
Campo Court, apartment A.
How long did you live there?
About a year.
Where are you currently living?
The same place.
Where were you working in 2017?
I worked at Arco gas station, and at the end of 2017, I was working at Albertsons.
Where are you working now?
Same place, Albertsons.
Since 2017.
I'm sorry, 2018.
I ask those questions because they become relevant to your case.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You received all of these money orders.
Yes.
And did you total all the money orders, Miss Willoughby?
No, I did not.
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't you total all the money orders? I would make you a pretty stupid person. And you explain to me why you did not give her what she bargained for.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nicole King says Rebecca Willoughby owes for the return of money she paid for a car, but never received.
According to your case, Miss King, you and the defendant made an arrangement to purchase her car. You made an arrangement to purchase her car over a period of time. You gave her a deposit and that you would pay the balance. I think the agreed upon price was something like $3,500. And you would pay the car and then you would get the car.
Correct.
And according to you, you made most of those payments, all except for one.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the arrangement was that you were supposed to meet at a mechanic, check over the car, to have it smogged and everything, and then
Yes, Your
give
Honor.
her the final payment, whatever that was. What was the final payment?
Just short of $50.
Can I see proof of the
Yes.
payments?
Absolutely.
And you received all of these money orders?
Yes.
And did you total all the money orders, Miss Willoughby?
No, I did not.
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't you total all the money orders? I would make you a pretty stupid person.
I would have totaled them at the time, but to my knowledge right now, I don't remember.
Well, if you don't remember, then I'm going to rely on her memory and the receipts. How much in total did you pay her?
I paid her $3,451.
That was in 2017.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then you said you couldn't find her.
I couldn't.
Well, she's been living at the same address.
She has. However, I had hired a process server to find her. Nobody could find her.
For all intents and purposes, Miss Willoughby, the car was paid for. For all intents and purposes, the car was paid for. I want to know, were you having a difficult financial time? Because she never got the car. You kept her almost $3,500, which was the purchase price of the car. And I want you to explain to me so that I'm going to understand it. Why? And if you tell me the truth, we won't have a problem. If you say, boyfriend left, I had no money, whatever it was, you want to explain to me why this person, who was a stranger to you, paid you the money, kept her end of the bargain with the exception of $50, and you explain to me why you did not give her what she bargained for. Go!
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Don't tell me what I'm not going to believe. You see, she doesn't look like a nut and say, well, I paid $3,450. I'm not going to give her the other $50 and she's not going to give me the car. You want to tell me what happened with her money and the boyfriend and your need for cash.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Nicole King says Rebecca Willoughby owes for the return of money she paid for a car, but never received.
You explain to me why you did not give her what she bargained for. Go!
The last payment made was August 2017 for $300. She was supposed to pay me. Yes, I was
No,
going
Your
to.
Honor.
Just a second. Let's go.
Ready for me? Okay.
I'm waiting for you.
No problem.
So far, we don't have an answer.
The last payment was made August.
I heard you.
She never paid me.
I heard you.
There was still an amount due.
I
left on
heard
the
you.
car.
$50. Go. She's paid you $34.50. Go.
I wasn't going to give her the car if she didn't pay me the remainder.
Well, then what did you say to her?
I told her I asked
show me.
her.
Show me. Where
The
you
last
said
payment?
show me. No. Show me where you said to her, if you're not going to give me the last payment, because, you know, there are certain things that are logical. Do you understand?
Yes.
Logical is when you've paid practically every penny for a car that you agree to, you don't not get the car because of a $50 bill.
Of course.
You don't not get the car because of that unless something's happened to the car in the interim. Unless all the time she was giving you this money for the car, something happened to it, you spent it, the boyfriend took it, something happened to it. I want you to tell me, don't tell me what I'm not going to believe. You see, she doesn't look like a nut and say, well, I paid $3,450. I'm not going to give her the other $50 and she's not going to give me the car. That doesn't make sense. And if something doesn't make sense, Miss Willoughby, it's not true. You want to tell me what happened with her money and the boyfriend and your need for cash. $34.50.
Do they?
Yes.
Because the last payment on the car was $300.
$34.50. And you didn't keep track. Let's go. You took the money as she gave it to you, and you and the boyfriend spent it. That's what happened over whatever period of time. 2 months, 3 months. Now you spent it. And then you had no car if you gave her the car. You want to continue? Tell me a story that I believe.
The car got repossessed January 2018.
All right. There you go.
But it was one payment left on it for $300.
When you sold her the car and it had clearly a lien on it, or you took out a title loan
And
on
she
it,
knew it had a lien on it.
Don't tell me what was in her head, okay?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You sold her what kind of car?
A 2004 Toyota Solara.
And how much was the lien that was on it?
I don't recall at the time.
Just a second. Where did you think you were coming today? To the circus?
Definitely not.
Where did you think? You're not at a circus. So if you were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend, that's not her fault.
No, it's not.
No. And that's the bottom line. You were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend.
But that's also not my fault that she didn't.
She fulfilled her end of the contract, and you
I don't care if it's $50.
and you prevented her from getting her property.
No, she didn't pay the rest of the money. I'm not going to give her a car that she didn't pay for.
Okay. When the car was repossessed, how much money was left owed on it, and who was the lender?
One payment and me.
Well, you weren't the lender. Who was the lender on the loan? You were the obligor. Who was the lender? What bank? What financial institution?
Easy Auto Shop.
And when had you purchased the car?
2016.
What month in 2016?
I don't recall, Your Honor.
You don't recall a lot. Okay. You were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend. I don't know whether you're a bum too, but so far you owe her $3,441. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I told her the car wasn't paid off completely, so the amount that she gave me goes directly to the car.
I was not aware that she had a lien on the vehicle.
And as soon as it's paid off, she gets the car.
She was using the car for her disposal. She signed a contract.
Because in the agreement, it wasn't said that the car couldn't be driven.
She voided the contract. I feel like I won.
Because I didn't receive the full amount, so she didn't receive the car, and that's final.
You know, I don't really even want the vehicle. I just want the...
I said, I'll do it for your dog, not for you.
A sick pet wounds a friendship.
How much money did she pay for tests for your dog?
She donated money for a test.
I did not donate.
And a dog owner unleashes confusion.
I will get you the money.
That's not for my phone.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, here's what I do know.
No, just a second.
Can I show you a picture of the dog?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Karen Gallagher is suing her former friend, Paula Von Trias, for an unpaid loan to pay a vet bill.
Order. All rise. It's case number 82 on the calendar, the matter of Gallagher versus Von Trias.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Ms. Gallagher, it is your claim that the defendant owes you for a loan that you made to her for tests for an elderly dog that she had.
Correct.
Unfortunately, the dog, despite the fact that it had the tests, passed away. And you want your money.
Yes, I do.
The defendant says it was never a loan, and because no good deed goes unpunished, the defendant, she says that you harassed her and defamed her. Okay. What?
She threatened my life additionally. I filed a
You
police
had
report.
an old dog that needed tests.
No. My dog was 5 years old, 11 months. She got sick in June, where I took her to a vet and paid for all her expenses. I had her on a proactive, healthy plan, and
Did Miss Gallagher give you money for tests for your dog, or did she pay for tests for your dog?
She did not give me any money.
Listen to me carefully. Listen to my words. Did Miss Gallagher give you any money, or did she pay for tests for your dog? That was my question. That's either a yes or a no.
No.
So she did not pay for any tests
I
for your
have
dog.
that
She
billing.
donated money for a test.
I did not donate.
Just don't answer her. Your dog, your tests. Now, how much money did she pay for tests for your dog?
I believe it was over $400 for 3 tests on the first occurrence.
She was a friend of yours?
She was a friend of mine.
Just a second. But she didn't live with you.
No.
So somehow she had to know that your dog needed tests because Karnak is no longer with us. If you remember Karnak?
Johnny Carson.
Right. And she doesn't look like she has a crystal ball or a Ouija board, so that somebody had to tell her that your dog needed tests.
I have
Who told her?
I told her.
In a conversation on the phone or in person?
In person.
Stop. I'm not talking to you. On the phone or in person?
In person, I have a picture of it. Picture of her passed out in my house with my dog now at her feet, and that's when she learned about the test.
No, she doesn't learn. She doesn't learn. You told her that your dog needed tests. I want you to tell me about the conversation you had for the first time with a plaintiff about your dog's test and the fact that you didn't either have insurance or the money to pay for it. Go. What date?
On December 31st, I called Karen.
Good. That's a start. On December 31st,
December
you called... Don't interrupt.
Okay.
On December 31st, you called Karen and said...
I have to figure out how to get Kenzie tested because the pre-arrangement that I made for her to be paid by my insurance that was paid fell apart.
So you called her and said, I have to figure out a way how to pay for Kenzie's tests.
That was it. And she said to me, will they take credit cards over the phone? I said, I don't know. She said, well, call them and call me back. I go, okay. So I called. They said, yes. I called Karen back. I said, yes, they do. She goes, give me the number. And that was it. That was it. And so a half-hour call about Kenzie at all. And she says, yeah, you're all set. Come on in. You want to make an appointment? I go, okay, thank you. That's what happened. There was no loan. I didn't have her credit card. She never gave me any money. There's no loan.
No, I'm not asking you whether she gave you money. I asked you at the beginning, did she either give you money or pay for tests for your dog? And the answer is yes. She paid for tests for my dog. And you say you picked up the
It was
phone
always
and you
a
called...
loan. Always a loan.
Listen to me. Don't speak unless I'm talking to you. Okay. You called her up to ask her for money.
No, I did not.
Yeah, of course you did.
No.
Of course you did.
No, I did not.
Of course you did. You didn't call your butcher.
Excuse me,
You
I
didn't
did
call
not.
a grocer. You didn't call
Judge
AT&T.
Judy.
You didn't call Geico.
Judge
You
Judy.
called her.
No,
Listen to me. Listen to me. You called her and said, I don't know how I'm going to figure out how to pay for Kenzie's tests at the vet because because the insurance didn't. I get it. It's really a question of responsibility. It's your dog. You're a grown woman.
True.
You're a grown woman. You should be able to take care of your own dog.
And I did.
No, you didn't. She did.
No, she did not.
She did
I have a
$481 worth.
I have a witness here that can explain things for
No.
you because
No,
it was a donation. Phone. She said before I got off the phone with her, she said
I was at her house.
I don't want you to speak.
Okay.
On December 31st, I was in my house, she was in her house. That's the fact. The other issue, she said, this is my cause, this is what I do. I donate to dogs. I love Kenzie. That was part of the call that I had with her when I first told her I was baffled why the insurance didn't get handled. And when I know 2 days later after the test, the lady who was handling it committed suicide.
Did anybody else help contribute to your dog's health care?
I did.
No,
for everything. No.
Other than you.
No.
Other than you
No.
and the plaintiff, did anybody else contribute to your dog's health care?
No.
The answer is either yes or no.
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 And
Okay.
there were more bills. So after that test, the vet couldn't figure out why my dog...
Don't tell me what the vet couldn't figure
Okay,
out.
okay, the
I'm
vet-
not interested in
All right.
hearsay. I'm only interested in this. So what you're telling me is Miss Gallagher was the only person, other than you, who took care of your dog.
She didn't take care of my dog.
Well, she did. She took care of $481 worth of bills.
Minus $60 that I paid that was applied to that bill.
So what?
But there was more tests after that. That first vet told me my dog needed an ultrasound. So I had to go I called the pound to ask for referrals because I didn't get any. And I got 3 referrals. So I found another vet, profit. She works and she agreed to take my insurance. So everything after that.
So what?
And
Well,
my dog was diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease and very, very sick. And she was 5 years old and 11 months. And she was taken care of well by the second vet.
Miss Ventrace, it's just a question of whether you're going to pay for your own dog or she's going to pay for your own dog. Now, I'd like you to tell me your version of the conversation that you had with the defendant when you found out that her dog needed these tests.
It was the night of December the 30th. I actually went over to her house, and we were discussing it, and she started crying, and she's saying that she's broke and she can't afford it. She needed the test done the next day, the 31st. So it's on my credit card. I called
Just
the next day.
What I want to hear is the conversation that I believe.
I said, Paula, you know that two things I don't do in life. I don't borrow money and I don't lend money. I said, no, it's really, this goes against my better judgment. I said, but I'll do it for your dog, not for you.
This is not true.
I don't want to hear you.
Okay. Just letting you know.
This is true. It's totally true.
Let's go back.
So I went home. I told her, I said, look, I said, if I do this.
If it goes against my better judgment.
To do this, because.
Goes against my better judgment.
I know that it creates difficulties and issues with people when money becomes between friends. So the next morning she called me. She goes, I'm going to bring you what. It is totally.
What part of I don't want to hear you
Sure,
now?
I'm sorry.
Didn't you understand?
I did understand.
Well, you didn't understand it the first time or the second. I yelled at her the same way.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So the next morning she called and said, do you want to do what you said you would do? And I said, do what? And she said, and I said, pay for the test for Kenzie.
Do what you said you were going to do, and?
Meaning pay for Kenzie's test so I can take her into the vet.
And?
So I said, I'm on my way out the door. I said, how about if I just use my credit card over the phone? And she goes, oh, will they do that? I said, who wouldn't do that? And so I called the VCA and I paid it over the phone with my credit card. And then she called me back that afternoon and was all happy. It was December the 31st. We did see each other that night. The credit card charge hit my bill on January the 2nd because of the holiday. So she said she'd repay me, but she would back it up with the insurance check, which she was going to expedite. Now, I did research, and I know that pet insurance companies pay their claims within 10 days, 20 days tops. The dog died February 17th. I lent her the money on December 31st. She never made any attempt to pay me anything.
When for the first time did you ask her for the money?
I asked her several times over the phone, and then I have a couple of texts here.
I'd like to see the text.
Okay.
Well, the dog died in February?
February 17th in my arms.
On the 29th of January, she says, you need to pay me back. And you said, I will when I get the money. Are you okay?
That's not from my phone.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, here's what I do know.
No, just a second.
Can I show you a picture of the dog?
I don't care to see the
Okay.
dog. I'm telling you, all of this is from your phone.
Can I share something here?
I'm just telling you
from day,
that on
I actually have
January...
texts from her, too.
January... Well, show
I have
me.
texts from her that say...
Just all you...
I have
if
many
you-
texts from her to explain the storyline. Thank you. Okay.
All I can tell you is you said to her when she said, you need to pay me back, and that was a month later, you said to her, I will when I get the money. Are you okay?
I have a phone and I have texts, and that's not on my phone. I'm sorry.
It's on my phone.
But what I do know, in the beginning, there was no loan.
$481. That's who she owes you. Let us go to.
I actually have...
Let us go to.
Excuse
let
me.
us go to.
I have witnesses here that they can prove it's a donation. This is Arlene. Could she speak?
You want to
'cause she
see the
was-
text? Do you want to see it before you testify? Do you
Sure.
want to see it?
I'd like to.
But Judge
Yeah.
Judy, could I ask a question?
No.
On the day Kenzie died, I was in her home, at her home afterwards, and she said to me, Paula, I love Kenzie. You don't have...
Dallas,
She's
let
a
us go.
witness to it, because she said it to her as well.
Let's move on.
I'm sorry.
Let's move on.
I have a witness here,
Your
man.
counterclaim's
have the insurance
Listen,
money by
do you
then.
want me to hear any part of your counterclaim, or do you want me to just throw you
Can my
out?
witness speak, because she came up for it, please?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
I mean, there has to be a reason why somebody is moving out after they spend the time to move in, spend 2 days moving in, and in less than 15 days, she says, you're miserable. I'm moving out. Why do you think that she did that, Mr. Butcher?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Karen Gallagher says her former friend, Paula Von Triez, owes for a loan to pay a vet bill. Paula is countersuing for threats, harassment, and defamation of character.
What I'm telling you is on the 29th of January, you said, I will pay you back as soon as I get the money. That's what you said to her. Now, the dog may have died in February, and everybody's very emotional in February when the dog died. But in January, before the dog died, you said to her, I will pay you back when I get the money. That's what you said to her.
Oh, everything that she said about the insurance and getting paid, it's not true. Everything.
$481. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Please? Judge Judy, I have...
Well, it was absolutely correct. It was a loan to begin with, and I can't believe she turned it around and tried to turn it into a donation.
My witness here heard her say it was a donation.
I might have sent a text where it was out.
All the slander, harassment, and bullying that she did to me and the threat of my life.
You know, an empty threat just because I was so upset because she refused to pay me.
I should have trusted my first instinct, and she has a pretty good reputation in town.
That's what she does. That's her MO.
Right.
She doesn't work. She just tries to, take money from people.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Christensen versus Butcher. Step forward.
23-year-old Brianne Christensen is suing her former landlord, Joel Butcher, for the return of her deposit and personal property, and for lost wages.
Miss Christensen, you rented a loft from Mr. Butcher. He lived in the apartment as well. You just rented a loft, sleeping loft. You had kitchen privileges, I assume? That would be a yes. And you rented this place and gave him a deposit, moved in the end of March?
Yeah, March 28th.
Now, when you moved in, you moved your clothes?
I moved most of my clothing. I wasn't able to hang it, though, because the...
I don't need a whole story. You moved in your clothes?
Yes. Yes.
Did she move in with boxes?
Yes.
I'm looking at him now.
She did.
She moved in with boxes. It was furnished, so she didn't need furniture.
Correct.
Who lived there before?
The previous tenant was a gentleman by the name of Avery.
And how long was Avery there?
Approximately 2 months.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Butcher?
I wait tables. I'm in the service industry in Park City, Utah, and then I also have a tree company that I run during the summer.
And she moved in all this stuff. Did she have a moving company, or did she do it herself?
She did it herself.
And how long did it take her?
2 to 3 days. And I believe the actual date was March 26th.
But it took her 2 or 3 days to move in.
Correct.
Mr. Butcher, why do you think somebody takes a loft, spends 2 days moving, schlepping her stuff into that loft? Requires a ladder to get up there, right?
Correct.
So she's got to take clothes, books, whatever. Why do you think someone would move out after a month?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She paid you $1,200 when she moved in. Did you forget that?
It was first and last
Is there
month's rent.
something? Is there something wrong with your brain,
No, it was never deposited. It was first and last month's rent.
Mr. Butcher?
Yes.
You've been spending too much time in Park City.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 20 former landlord, Joel Butcher, for the return of her deposit and personal property, and for lost wages. Why do you think someone would move out after a month if they were normal? She doesn't look abnormal. I say to myself, she wanted a place to live. She got a place to live. She gives you a deposit. She pays her rent, right? Why do you think she was so unhappy that she packed everything up
gave you notice that she was moving out. She didn't give you 30 days notice, but she told you before that she was moving out. And you actually found she moved out in May, right?
Correct, May 19th.
And she paid you prorated rent for the 19 days, correct?
No, not correct.
How much did she pay you?
It was
in May?
In May, nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Did you pay him anything for May?
Yes, I paid him $368 for the prorated rent, and I paid him $38 for our half of utility.
Did you pay him check or cash?
I paid him with a money order.
Do you have a copy of that?
Yeah. Here's the money order for the month of May. And here's my deposit for April.
$368 she paid you pro rata for May. And you had somebody move in June what?
June 1st. Deposit.
How much was your deposit?
$600.
She paid you $1,200 when she moved in. $600 for rent and $600 deposit. Did you forget that?
It was first
Is
and last month's rent.
Is there something wrong with your brain?
No, it was never a deposit. It was first and last month's rent, as it was stated in the ad. It was never a security deposit. There was no attachment, whether it be refunded.
Mr. Butcher,
Yes.
you've been spending too much time in Park City.
Maybe so. It's a nice place to spend some time.
It's a nice place. When you're 25, you've been spending a lot of time in Park City. Why did you move out after a month? You want to tell me? I mean, I don't care if she embarrasses you. She said that you had random people over there all the time. They left the door open all the time. That's why she moved out. I mean, there has to be a reason why somebody is moving out after they spend the time to move in, spend 2 days moving in, and in less than 15 days, she says, you're miserable. I'm moving out, and I'm going to pay you for the 19 days that it takes me to find someplace else to live, but I can't live here anymore. Why do you think that she did that, Mr. Butcher?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
How old are you?
46.
You have to give. You knew you were moving. That would be a yes.
Yes.
You planned on moving.
Yes.
I want you to explain to me why you didn't move with your, what you say, missing, your iPhone, your passport, your birth certificate, your social security card. What possible use does he have for your passport, your birth certificate, your social security card?
I was in such a hurry to move that I missed a few items, and they're still at his house. But when I came...
Do you have her passport, her social security card? Do you have that in your house?
I do not. She actually contacted my current roommate and made arrangements to retrieve those items.
I still have not been able to retrieve them.
Did you contact the new roommate?
I tried to, yes.
Did you speak to the new roommate?
Yes. She wasn't able to find them.
So he wasn't able to find. He doesn't have them.
I still believe they're there because I moved in with those items. And when I moved out, I didn't have them.
Well, you have to keep more careful track of your items. You knew you were moving for at least 3 weeks. It would suggest to me that those things you would take, a passport, your social security card, and certainly your iPhone. Goodbye, $600. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I can't. That's fine.
I definitely believe we entered into agreement first and last month's rent. She broke the agreement.
People coming in and out of the house, just sketchy behavior, coming home intoxicated.
I have a 100-pound Rottweiler. People aren't coming and going.
Dealing cocaine in his kitchen when I was cooking my food.
At my age, former firefighter, cocaine isn't my thing.
I'm just glad to be out of there.
I did go back to his house when he chose to get vulgar with me and aggressive.
How many times have you been arrested?
4 times, ma'am.
An online connection immediately crashes.
This is somebody that you know for 24 hours.
Yes, I felt comfortable with him at the time.
Evidently, you had bad judgment.
And his new connection hopes for a reboot.
He served jail time for domestic violence. What makes you think that you're going to be any different?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. 24-year-old April Krenke is suing her ex-boyfriend, Tyler Milligan, for the unpaid balance on a truck he forced her to co-sign for.
Order. All rise. Case number 105.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Craigie, this is your case. You allege that sometime in February of this year, you met the defendant online. You met him online. He came. You had your first meeting in person on February 20th. You liked him. You lived with your one-year-old daughter, and he stayed the night. You claim the next day he kidnapped you and forced you to co-sign for a truck that he wanted. And you did co-sign for the truck, according to you. While you didn't see him again, you kept in touch with him because you were hoping that he'd make the payments on the truck. And now you're stuck because your name is a co-signatory on a loan.
That is not entirely correct, Your Honor.
Well, then let's have it. Did you meet him on February 20th?
I met him on February 20th.
And he came to your house?
Yes, ma'am. He came to my house.
And he spent the night?
And he spent the night, yes.
And
then from there, we decided that I knew I'd have to bring him back to his house, so I'd bring him back to his house the next day, and I would stay the night because I had to work the following day.
So the next night, you were going to stay at his house?
Yes, ma'am.
With your daughter?
Yes.
Now, this is somebody that you know for 24 hours?
Yes, I felt comfortable with him at the time, and
Evidently, you had bad judgment, and you took your year-old daughter with you.
I also have my witness here that was with me on the very first day. The following night, when I did go back to his house, when he chose to get vulgar with me and aggressive, and she has a restraining order on him also as well. As far as like the vulgar and the aggressiveness.
Just a second. Can I see a police report?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Milligan, how old are you, sir?
26, ma'am.
How many times have you been arrested?
4 times, ma'am.
Last time was when?
I was just released on June 8th of this year.
What was your conviction?
Restriction of a 911 call in domestic.
Domestic abuse?
Yes, ma'am.
How many of the 4 arrests were as a result of domestic abuse?
Just 2.
And you're 26 years old.
Yes,
Was it
ma'am.
with the same woman or different women?
Different.
How long was the last time that you spent in jail?
39 days was the longest I've ever spent.
Did any judge ever direct you to anger management?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever have to pay a fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the plaintiff says that the witness who's sitting here to her right has a restraining order against you. Do you know who she is?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a hearing on that restraining order?
No,
Have
ma'am.
you been to court? Have you been to court?
No, ma'am, I have not.
So she got this restraining order on her own without you?
Yes.
Were you served with the restraining order?
Yes.
Do you have a return date for that restraining order?
No, ma'am.
Did you default in appearance on that? Well, you were served with it.
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan, when you're served with a restraining order, it's a temporary restraining order because it's given to you what they call ex parte, which means only the witness, whoever it is, goes in and asks for it, and you are entitled to have a hearing on it. They gives you a return date. You don't know what that return date is?
No, ma'am.
What's the return date?
It was 20 days after the fact of that he could have gone to court otherwise.
Did you get a default judgment?
Yep.
Did you go? Not yep.
I did not have to go to court. They just automatically signed the restraining order.
May I see it? Were you dating him?
At one point, him and I did date, yes.
Just a second. So this is when you were dating?
No, we were roommates. So
But you dated. You had
dated,
an intimate, and now you're her roommate?
Nope, I don't live with her. Her and I are friends now.
Okay,
I live
sit
up
down.
with my boyfriend.
Sit down. Sit down. You filed this report about a week later.
He knew where I lived.
Shh. You filed this report about a week later, February 28th. You spoke to the police officer. Why didn't you want to pursue any charges against the defendant?
I was scared for my safety and my daughter's safety. He does know where I live, and I was afraid of the...
To any court for a protective order?
I did not at the time.
At any time?
I have not.
Where's the truck?
It's sitting at Porter Service.
What is it doing there?
Waiting to be fixed. The wheel bearing had went out previously, and also the brakes. Once I got served the paperwork, I still work in the process of working on it. I've got parts en route to fix it. After I got served with the paperwork, after reading what was served to me when I was incarcerated.
Why did you think that she co-signed for this vehicle for you?
So that way I could come back and forth to see her, also for work purposes also.
She knew you for 2 days. What is wrong with you?
Nothing, man. We were previously talking about it. So when she came down to the house, we set up a negotiation about it.
There's no negotiation. I don't understand you. Who was that?
That's my wife.
26 years old, and he's had 2 protective orders in domestic violence cases and served jail time for domestic violence. What makes you think that you're going to be any different?
I don't. I just trust him. I don't. I just trust him.
You trust him?
Yes.
You think all these people are crazy? You think all these women are crazy?
No.
Truck.
Altogether, $9 grand. That's with tax, title, and license.
In whose name is the truck?
Hers.
Whose?
April's.
Is the truck in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
Go get it.
Go
get it.
I'm actually filing for the
Go get it.
$5,000 amount.
I don't care what you're suing for.
Because I don't want the truck because it's broken.
I'm telling you, go get the truck.
It's broken.
I'm telling you, go get the truck. I'm telling you to go get the truck. I will prepare the order. Now you know where it is. She's going to get the truck. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you interfere with that, she's going to have a copy of this tape. You're going to get arrested again. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And she can't say, well, they don't understand him, you know, and I trust him, because everybody trusts me. She's going to get the truck, and then she's going to sell it. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
If I may add, I do have receipts for 2 parts that I have bought previously.
I don't give a rat's behind what you have receipts for. She's going to get the truck, and she's going to sell it, and hopefully get a lot more than $5,000. It's her truck, and she's going to get it. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me the name of the place where it's currently sitting.
Porter Service.
Very good. We'll contact them and let them know that they're not to release it to you. Got it?
Yes. If I can get my belongings out of there, that would be great.
No, you can't go near the truck.
Also,
You can't go near the...
what about like the towing or like the towing fees, because the truck is broke down right now? Like if the truck has to be towed from where it's at currently now?
I don't deal in ifs. I'm giving you the truck back that was $9,000.
What about the
You're
damage?
suing him. You're suing him for $5,000. He just bought the truck in February. You're going to be able to sell it for more than $5,000. I would even invest a couple of bucks in fixing it if I were you, so you can sell it or keep it. Go get the truck. It's yours.
Okay. Yes, sir.
He's not going to touch it.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I have absolutely no feelings towards him. I have never had any feelings for him.
But just to go see each other so that way we can still date and stuff. But
He is manipulative, vulgar, and just horrible of a person.
she wasn't looking for what I was, and so moved on to bigger and better things.
I feel bad for his new wife, to be completely honest. I am not jealous of her
She was just looking for a hookup, and I went in marriage and settled down, and here we are.
by any means. I am just completely sorry for her and for her new man.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Dilla versus Waldrop. Step forward.
Andrew Dilla and his son, 20-year-old Justin, are suing Justin's former friend, 20-year-old Michaela Waldrop, Justin's name from a title.
Mr. Dilla, you're his father.
Correct.
How old are you?
20.
You have a job.
Yes.
And who do you work for?
Chipotle?
You've been working there for a while?
Yeah, a little over a year.
What do you do?
I'm a kitchen manager.
You have a salary check.
No, it's by the hour.
But you get paid?
Yeah.
Yes. That would be yes. And what do you do?
I just got recently hired as a cashier.
And before that, what did you do?
I was a cashier at Chipotle.
That's how you met each other. And you dated for a while. Terrific. And you wanted a car.
Yes.
And you had saved up for a down payment.
Yes.
How much?
$2,600 in total.
How much did you put down on the car?
$2,600 in total.
Instead of buying, you know, a car for $2,600, you wanted a new car, newish car. And you couldn't get any credit.
Yes.
So this 20-year-old, because he didn't work for the same place, some bank said, okay, if you co-sign for her, now I've got 2 people on the hook. We'll give her the loan.
Yes.
And the car is in whose name?
It's in both of our names.
And you were dating at the time?
Yes.
Can I see the title?
Your Honor,
What?
the title's not available because it's still being financed.
I want to see the title to the car. Somebody should have a title that says lien on it.
So we have the refinance papers.
I just need a title that says lien on it.
This is the original title from Exeter Finance.
All right, so nobody has a title.
The finance company has the title.
Great. How much is left on the loan?
$10,285 last time I checked.
And who has the car? You do.
I do.
Great. And neither of you were going to be let off this loan because that would be stupid of the loan company because now they have 2 people to go against, right?
Right.
And you have the car. What do you want me to do?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You were the dumb one who led to the friends who got pulled over, and the car was impounded because they found drug paraphernalia in the car. Does anybody have a police report for me to look at? I'd like to take a look at it. Put your hand down.
Oh, sorry.
Put your hand down. Listen, you can't help it if you raise stupid.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Justin Dilla says former friend Michaela Waldrop owes for damage and impound fees for a car he co-signed for.
Bottom line was, you had the car, you broke up. According to him, you lent the car to somebody.
Yes.
And that was a friend of yours, and they got pulled over for some sort of drug infraction. And the police went through the car, took it all apart looking for drugs. What's the name of the genius who you lent the car to?
The friend is Izzy.
Well, if it was reported stolen, they wouldn't have torn it apart looking for drugs. Was there drug paraphernalia found in the car?
Not to my awareness, no.
Not to your knowledge?
Yes.
Not that you are aware of?
Yes.
Right. On what date was the car loaned to your friend?
February 12th.
And you had had the car for about a month at that time. And you had already broken up with him.
No, we were still together up until February.
Well, February 12th, when you loaned the car to the friend.
Yes.
What was the friend supposed to do with the car?
He was going to go get food and run to his house. I had constant location of him because I had an update.
He was supposed to go get food?
Yes.
All right. And who was he with?
He was with his friend.
He was
who
with
actually
another...
I knew him too.
He was with another friend. And on February 12th, were you and Mr. Dallas still a couple?
No.
When had you broken up?
Yes.
When had you broken up?
Sorry. Around February 2nd.
Who went to get the car from impound? Does anybody have a police report for me to look at? I'd like to take a look at it. Put your hand down.
Oh, sorry.
Put your hand down.
Okay.
Listen, you can't help it if you raise stupid.
I have the receipts right here from the getting it out of impound.
I want to see a police report.
Oh, we weren't able to get a police report unless we had a subpoena for it.
Let me see the date of impound. You picked up the car from impound?
Correct.
Actually, I paid for April.
Who cares? You were the dumb one who led to friends who got pulled over, and the car was impounded because they found drug paraphernalia in the car. So I don't care if you paid April. What do you want?
If I were to...
You got stuck.
Yeah.
With paying for the car. Are you driving it?
No, I'm not.
Is it insured?
It's the registration.
Is it insured?
No, it's not.
Well, you know you have to have it insured by the loan company.
Okay.
Just what do you mean, okay? Is the car insured?
The car is not insured, never was insured, and the defendant did not insure the car when she took it off the lot.
Listen, that's stupid's fault.
Right. Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When you loaned the car to these two idiots,
yes,
did it have damage on it?
Yeah.
Did it have damage on it?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Justin Dilla says former friend Michaela Waldrop owes for damage and impound fees for a car he co-signed for.
Is the car insured?
The car is not insured, never was insured, and the defendant did not insure the car when she took it off the lot.
Listen, that's stupid's fault.
Right. We were trying to sell the car. We wanted to get monies to be able to pay. The car has currently damages on it worth about $5,000.
I'd like to see the damage to the car. Now, unless you can explain to me how the car got damaged.
I was aware.
The two of you broke up in February.
Yes.
On February 12th, you loaned the car to two people, and on February 14th, the plaintiff got the car out of impound by the police.
Yes.
Now, when you loaned the car to these two idiots,
yes,
did it have damage on it?
Yeah.
Did it have damage on it?
Yes.
What kind of damage did it have on it?
The mirror was missing and the back tail light was broken.
How did that happen?
Honestly, I don't know, because woke up one morning, went out to my driveway and saw it was like that. I thought someone came and actually...
Shh. On what date did you find the mirror broken and the taillight damaged?
January 26th.
So on January the 26th, according to, because you said you were still a couple in February. That's
Yes.
what you told me a while ago.
Yes.
So while the car was in your possession, it had a missing mirror and a broken taillight.
Yes.
But it didn't have all this other damage.
Not that I know.
Not when you loaned it to
Yes.
your two friends.
Yeah.
So it didn't have all this damage.
No.
Is this the way you retrieved the car from impound?
Yes. And
Who was there with you when you took it out of impound?
my dad.
You were there?
Yes.
When the car came out of impound?
Yes.
When did you take that video?
That day.
And that's the way it looked?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Do you have an estimate on how much it will cost to fix that car?
I was given a
No, the answer is either yes or no.
verbal. So
Well, you can't tell me what somebody else told you.
then no.
Well, I need an estimate because she's responsible for that. You know, she's an idiot and she's not going to pay for this car and she's not going to get it back because she's totally irresponsible. But the two of you were on the title to the car.
Correct.
The car was damaged. If you have to sell it, which has to be repaired, and if I don't have an estimate, I'm going to have to back this up a different way. Bird, would you look up the Blue Book value of a 2015 Mazda 3 Sport?
$10,056.
Well, most of the loan is remaining, and what you're asking for actually is $3,259, which I assume is the money that you have so far invested in the car, making the payments so that it wouldn't be repossessed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, that's certainly far less than what you can get if you sold it. And based upon that, you couldn't get anywhere near $10,000 if you had to sell the car this way. You have a counterclaim.
Yes, I do.
It's dismissed. If you can't afford a car, don't buy it.
Actually, I was not allowed to make the first car payment.
If you can't afford a car, don't buy it.
Oh, I was
And
able to
don't-
afford it.
No, you couldn't afford it because the credit score that you had was insufficient for a $10,000 loan. So you couldn't. And then once you had it, and since you really weren't on the hook for it yourself and you had no job, because at the time you lost your job, you were in between jobs.
Yes.
Yes. And you lent it to some people who were probably using it to sell, transport, do whatever they were doing with drugs. In any event, there was paraphernalia. If your counterclaim's dismissed, we're done here. By the way, we're withholding your money until you sign over the title to him. Thank you. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I didn't directly report it stolen. All I said is I did not give anyone permission
Because my friend let Justin know he was driving the car.
to drive the car because I was unknowing of what she had done with the car.
And Justin did not like that friend very well, so he reported it stolen.
She got fired for no call, no shows
And I need it, and it's been hard without one. I've lost many opportunities.
due to her letting them use the car.
I get my car back, and they accept my refinancing.
I was young and dumb. Don't co-sign for a significant other.
And I could do it today. If not, then car's yours.
Buy your own car if you can afford it.
Who threw the rock?
I don't know.
Two boys caught in a fib.
Whatever it is, it's not a big deal that it happened. It's just a big deal if you lie about it.
But who will fess up first?
His grandma said, you better tell the truth.
He threw the rock.
Well, he said he didn't.
I'm just telling you he did.
You seen him throw it?
I don't have to see him throw it. That's my job. That's what I do for 50 years.
Judge Judy. Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Susan Corso is suing her neighbor, Keena Payton, for damage caused to her vehicle when her son threw a rock at it.
Order. All rise. It's case number 69 on the calendar in the matter of Corso versus Payton.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Everybody have a seat.
Ms. Corso, it is your claim that the defendant's little boy, that's this little boy over here, damaged your car by throwing a rock.
Yes.
And you didn't see that.
No, I did not.
So I assume that the little boy who's sitting here, who also lives in your neighborhood.
Next door.
He came and told you that it had happened.
Actually, no one came and told me. I heard it, but my husband was ill, so I didn't go out. But I did go.
I don't care.
I did go 2 days later, and we
Just a second.
talked to Jake.
I don't need a whole story. Here, you didn't see anything happen to your car?
No.
There was a dent or something in your car.
Yes.
Did you notice it the same day?
No, I did not.
When you noticed something, it was at that time that you spoke to this young man.
Yes, Your Honor.
And this young man, he saw the defendant's son throw a rock that hit your car.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then he tried to fix it.
Yes.
And he tried to fix it to make it better.
Yes.
And maybe it made it better, and maybe it didn't make it better. Mrs. Payton says her son never threw a rock at your car. The incident happened on what, well, why don't you step up here? You're Jake?
Yes.
You live next door?
Yes.
On what date did you allegedly see Mrs. Payton's son throw a rock at Miss Corso's car?
Sunday.
It was on a Sunday.
Yes.
And did you look?
It was a Thursday.
Thursday.
I don't want you to say anything to him. You're not the witness. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's my job to test his memory.
Okay.
You don't have to help him. It was on what time?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what month it was in?
No.
Do you remember what time of the day it was?
No.
Was it in the morning? Was it in the evening? Was it daytime or was it nighttime?
It was in the middle between daytime and nighttime.
What's that?
Evening.
How old are you?
12.
Well, a 12-year-old knows time. You know whether it's dark out or light out or dusk, where it's in between, where it's almost dark. What time was it?
Evening.
Where were you?
We were all in front of my yard.
Who was in front of your yard?
Me.
And the three of you have been playing for how long?
Not much.
What were you playing?
We weren't playing anything.
Why don't you tell me what you saw?
So this is what I saw. The girl.
Don't look over there. Look here.
The girl wrote Kyle's girlfriend on the rock.
Over here.
So on the rock, it said Kyle plus Madison, which I supposedly was his girlfriend. And he got mad, picked up the rock and threw it and hit her car in the rear.
He got mad because he wasn't the boyfriend?
I have no clue why he got mad.
Okay. And who wrote on the rock?
This girl, Jordan.
And was the rock that she wrote with the rock that he picked up, or was it a different rock?
It's the rock that she wrote with.
What did you say to him?
I didn't say anything to him.
Now, he threw the rock, and what happened when he threw the rock? Did you hear something, or did you see something?
It was a loud, I heard and saw, it was a loud bang, and there's like a big dent in the back.
In the back where?
Near the rear.
So what did you do?
We all ran.
Why did you run?
Because it made a loud bang.
Well, if it made a loud bang, and you all ran, but you first stopped to look at the car.
We ran first, and then we came back to look at the car.
So first you ran?
Yeah.
And where did you run to?
Jordan's house.
And when did you come back?
5 or 10.
Come back by yourself?
I came back by myself.
And when you came back by yourself, is that when you looked at the car?
Yes.
And so, now, you didn't do anything.
Yes.
You ran away.
Yes.
Then you came back.
Yes.
You looked at the car.
Yes.
You saw a dent.
Yes.
And when you went inside to your house?
Yeah, I had to go inside.
Because?
Because my uncle saw the big dent in the back, so he called me in to go inside.
Do you live with your uncle?
No, he's visiting.
Who else was in the house?
Just my uncle.
Did you tell your uncle what happened?
Yes.
Right away?
Yes.
The same day?
Yeah.
Who else lives in the house with you?
My grandma and my brother and my sister.
Was your grandma out?
Yeah, she was at work.
When she came home, did you tell her what happened?
Yes.
Did you tell her?
Yes.
The same day?
Yes.
And you live right next door?
Yes.
How many days later did you find out about this?
2 days.
2 days. And how did you find out about it 2 days later?
I was going out to take my husband back to the doctor.
You were going out?
I went out and to get in the driver's side and looked back and saw the big dent.
And then what did you do?
We went next door and asked Jake.
Just a second. Then you went next door. Was he inside his house or outside of his house?
He was inside.
So you knocked at the door?
Yes.
And who came to the door?
Jake and I told Jake, I said, we just found a big dent in our car. Do you know how it happened? And his grandma said, you better tell the truth. And his
grandmother said,
you better tell the truth.
And?
So Jake said...
He told you this story?
He came on and told us that story.
He told you this story. Did his grandmother say she already knew?
No, she didn't. She didn't say one way or the other, no.
Well, but according to Jake, she already knew.
Later on...
According to Jake, she already knew.
She did.
She knew 2 days in advance. So she knew 2 days in advance because, According to Jake, he had told her, why wouldn't she come over and tell you?
She explained that she knew we would be coming and knocking on her door any minute, and that as soon as we came knocking, he would tell us
that was
what
honest. That was honest. Not. Go down. First name?
Kyle.
You remember that day?
Yes.
Who threw the rock?
I don't know.
Well, there were only 3 of you there. You're a pretty smart kid. And according to him, all 3 of you sort of ran away after it was thrown. So don't look to try to explain to you. Whatever it is, it's not a big deal that it happened. It's just a big deal if you lie about it. Got it?
Yes.
Great. Who threw the rock?
I don't know.
Well, that I don't believe. How are you going to convince me that that's true? It's your job to convince me that that's true, that you don't know, because I don't believe you. Go down. He threw the rock.
Well, he said he didn't.
I'm just telling you he did.
You seen him throw it?
I don't have to see him throw it. That's my job. That's what I do for 50 years.
Okay.
I just looked in his eyes, and I'm telling you he threw the rock. It's not a big deal. Okay. It's not a big deal. Kids do that all the time. The big deal is for him not to tell the truth about it.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I don't necessarily believe him either.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
Because I'm not so sure that what happened is he tried to fix it.
Right.
He touched it before he showed you. That's what he told you. Is that right?
Yes.
And I don't know whether his touching it made it better or made it worse. Who knows? Do you know?
I wasn't there, no.
By the way, stand up over there. What did you use to try to fix it?
My hand.
Tell me how you did that.
I put my hand into the car and tried to
Banged
push
it.
A little bit.
Sit down. This course, I don't necessarily believe either one of them, but I don't think you've sustained your burden of proof to me, which is even by a preponderance of the evidence that Miss Payton is responsible for your car. You got a ding in your car?
Yes.
You got a ding in your car? It happens. But I'm not satisfied that I can feel comfortable making Miss Payton pay for it. I don't know how much of the dent was caused by a 12-year-old trying to fix it. 12-year-old trying to fix it, telling his grandmother the same day that it happened, and his grandmother didn't come to you, but her answer to you was, I knew you'd be knocking at my door. How long has she been your neighbor?
Probably 20 years.
Not a good lesson. We're done. Case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, it was honest and fair.
My son said he didn't do it. I believe he didn't do it.
We tried to talk to him, but they wouldn't even give me their name, so.
It could have been settled, but because of the way she went about it, it was just overbearing.
Just be honest and take responsibility, and that's all we can hope for.
Kids will be kids.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Vardakas versus Adams, step forward, please.
25-year-old construction worker Joshua Vardakas is suing his former employer, Wade Adams, for unpaid wages.
Mr. Vardakas, it is your claim contractor
Yes, ma'am.
owes you for some painting work that you did for him. It appears from your complaint that you had done work painting, house painting.
Correct.
For him before, at least twice before, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
paid him, and it was satisfactory. This was the 3rd job, and the 3rd job was for also a 2-story structure. Is that correct?
It was a 2-story structure, but he was only entitled to...
It was a 2-story
Yes, ma'am.
structure. And when was he supposed to start the job?
April 3rd.
And did he report to work on April 3rd?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he work for the day on April 3rd?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was he supposed to be paid per day?
$300 total for the job.
And how many days were you supposed to work on the job, sir?
I worked a total of 2. Started April 1st and April 3rd.
You worked on this job on April 1st.
Correct.
For how many hours?
8 hours that day. It was a full day.
And then on the 3rd?
On the 3rd was a half day. I spent about 4 hours there.
I don't like abouts.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He asks you for some money. You don't say to him, I don't owe you any money. You say to him, she's making me wait for my money because I have to get some glass fixed. Why didn't you pay him any money?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Construction worker Joshua Vardakas says his former employer, Wade Adams, out of suing for online defamation.
Now, what happened to the 2nd?
April 2nd wasn't the day that I worked, no.
Were you supposed to work?
No, it was just April 3rd was the day that I came in. That's when I was available to be able to come in and finish the job.
That doesn't sound reasonable to me. I don't know why. It just doesn't make sense. You usually start a job and you finish it.
I'm responsible for a lot of other projects that goes on around Northeast Ohio.
Mr. Vardakis, in the arrangement that you made with Mr. Adams, when were you supposed to start the job?
The 1st.
And when you were supposed to finish it?
Whenever it got done.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened when you went into work and that you only worked half a day? Did you finish the job?
No, I had to come back the 4th and finish.
Did you come
completely.
back the 4th?
Yes. That was the last 4 hours I spent there.
When you left the job on the 4th, was the job that you were hired to do completed?
Absolutely.
Do you have any proof that it was completed and that Mr. Adams knew it was completed? That he acknowledged that it was completed?
Not in the evidence, not directly, but I do have images. Me sending him the job. After a few days, we talked on the phone. Job was good. Everything was okay.
I'd like to see that.
I have the images of the job. This is me sending the photos of the job being done. This might be more than you really need. Sending pictures. That's some of the pictures out of all the pictures
Is your
that I
name
sent
Steve?
No, ma'am. I'm Rusty.
Steve was not able to make it today, ma'am.
Well, I don't need Rusty if Steve wasn't here. Sit. Why didn't you pay him for his work?
It was not completed, ma'am.
How much did you pay him?
I didn't pay him nothing.
How much were you supposed to pay him?
$300.
You have photographs of what was not completed?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. Now, that's what you were supposed to get, correct?
No, I was supposed to get $600. That's what the job paid.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Just 1 second. Did you paint both floors, upstairs and down?
Not the upstairs, the basement. I painted the basement and the first floor. I lost the copy of that photo of the basement, but I do have it in my phone.
I'd like to see it. When did you first, also, while you're looking for that, when did you first make a demand for your money?
I gave him till the day that he said that he was able to pay me. I questioned him on it, like, hey, you know, what's going on? I didn't hear.
Do you have that in text messages?
Oh, yes.
Let me take a look.
Okay, this is where he started making his excuses on
May
why...
I please see, and now get me the picture that you were looking for.
Oh, yes. Here it is. And if you left swipe twice.
Why didn't you pay him?
Because it was not done.
And you don't say to him on April 12th. You don't say to him on April 12th, you didn't finish the job. What you're saying on April 12th is, man, I assume the owner is making me wait, so I wish I had the money, but I'll get it to you, but I have to put windows in. That doesn't say you didn't finish the job.
I have a text message here I sent him, and he replied saying the basement door needed hit again, the trim needed, in the dining room needed hit, caulked around the top, and the basement re-hit again. That was on April 4th. So I had to hire somebody else to come and finish the job.
What I'm asking you is on April 12th, he asks you for some money. You don't say to him, I don't owe you any money. You say to him, she's making me wait for my money because I have to get some glass fixed. I'll have to go through them on Monday. Okay, well, can I get paid something? I really need the money. That's on April 12th. Why didn't you pay him any money?
Because I don't pay none of the employees until the job's done, man.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The counterclaim is for defamation. What did he say about you that you think is law-worthy?
Saying I lie, I'm a thief.
You are a liar, a cheat, and a thief. You didn't pay him for his job. He's allowed to say that.
Real cases, real people. Judge Vardakis says his former employer, Wade Adams, didn't pay him for a painting job. Wade is countersuing for online defamation.
Now, what's the name of the person that you were doing this painting for?
Renee, but she works for Fame City. It's a real estate company.
So you were doing a job for the real estate company?
Yes, ma'am.
How much did you charge them for the paint job in the house?
So the total job was $1,800.
What else did you do there?
We had to get it rent ready. We had to replace windows, replace some bathroom stuff, paint the upstairs, fix the front porch.
I'd like to see your invoice for that for $1,800, including painting.
Okay, he has
I'd like to see.
He has the picture of the invoice. Here's the rough estimate she signed.
I'd like to see that, Bert.
That's just labor. She buys the materials. Here's the invoice. This third job working with him started off on the bad foot, Your Honor. The first day with him and the other painter, having a little scuffle.
I don't care. You have to pay him. You can't not pay the man.
I
You
agree.
can't not pay the man.
But it was not complete. I had to have somebody else come and finish it.
The somebody else is Steve, who's not here.
Great. He had ID issues.
Well, that's your problem. That isn't my problem. You have to pay him. And if you didn't pay him, you can have a legitimate dispute with him, which I'm more than prepared to look at if you have a dialogue in writing with him. You didn't complete the, but I'm not paying you, whether it's $300 or $600. $300 seems like a pretty low wage if he worked there 3 days.
No.
Or you actually worked there 2 days.
A total, yeah,
You worked a
16
total of
hours,
2
man
days.
hours.
My painters, I pay $150 a day, Your Honor. If he gets it done sooner, he still gets the $300. If not, 2 days, he'll still get the $300.
What was the other job that he did for you?
He painted in Worcester.
When?
Back in March.
How much were you paid for that job, sir?
That job, $250.
And what did that entail?
Painting a kitchen and a living room, just the walls.
I don't care.
Sorry.
If you got paid $250 in March, you're not getting paid $600 2 months later. Then I believe him that he pays his painters $150 a day. You had to pay him something. So it's inexcusable that you didn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now,
we talked. I planned on. His wife was texting me, my wife. I was going to give him another chance. We have a bunch of other jobs. And I said, and he should have the text messages, so I'm trying to find mine.
I got it already.
I admitted I would pay him. The check, I said the check would be here between Wednesday and Friday. So we talked on the phone.
Then why didn't you just do that? Then you should have done that. And now, you have counterclaim. You counterclaim.
He's put on.
Just read me what he said. Did he say that nobody should work for you because you don't pay your employees?
He was just saying all kinds of, he's called, got on our youth football page. I'm the director of youth football. Started bashing us on youth football. Yeah, for 8, 9, 10-year-olds.
I don't understand what you're saying.
8, 9, 10-year-olds have nothing to do with it. He's just bashing us.
You have to, listen to me, look at me. I'm old. You have to speak slowly and clearly. What did he say about you that you think is law-worthy?
Saying I lie, I'm a thief, I'm a cheat.
Well, you were. You were a liar, a cheat, and a thief. You didn't pay him for his job. He's allowed to say that. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He didn't finish the job. Had to hire another painter to come and do it.
At least I got some money out of the deal.
Him and my 2 painters got in a pushing and scuffling match.
Never got physical. We got into it, and it wasn't even on the job that he was talking about.
He got on Facebook sites, saying I'm a liar, a thief, a cheat.
I went after it.
I don't do this and do that. Paying my employees, I treat them bad.
Nobody works for free. That's absolutely right.
No, I'm not ever going to hire him again.
I do too good of work to get paid nothing.
You were renting one of your rooms to the plaintiff.
For her safety.
I moved out before I was able to do exactly everything that he wanted.
You, on the other hand, are still there.
Now she's looking for some security.
You kept a security deposit. You did not turn it over to your landlord. You kept it. There's a pattern here that I'm not liking.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Lisa Savelnis is suing her ex-roommate, Jeremy Kaufman, her ex-boyfriend, Nathan Peterson, and Nathan's mother, Joyce Peterson, for her deposit, rent, property, and negligence.
Order. All rise. It's case number 25 on the calendar in the matter of Savelnis versus Kaufman-Peterson. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Who are the Petersons? This is your son. You own the house.
It's a 5-unit apartment.
Do you own the whole thing?
Yes.
So you own the house?
Yes.
Your son manages the 5-unit house. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, you're Jeremy.
Yes.
You rent a room there.
It's a 2-bedroom apartment.
To the plaintiff.
Yes.
And you were renting a room to her in your apartment where you paid how much rent?
At this moment, $19.25.
Well, at this moment, did it change yesterday?
Yes. Changed, I want to say maybe 2 months ago, Your Honor, while the plaintiff was living there.
How much was it?
$18.75, I think.
Okay. Now, before the plaintiff rented a room from you, had you had other roommates?
Yes.
When was the last time you had a roommate other than the plaintiff?
It would probably have to be a week before she moved in.
And what was the name of that roommate?
He had a weird name, Your Honor. I do not.
How long did he live there?
2 months. Orrin was his, I apologize, Your Honor, his name was Orrin.
How long have you lived in the apartment?
5 years.
Prior to Orrin, who lived there?
I had another roommate for 3 months named Justin.
Prior to Justin, what was the name of your roommate? I'm going to check with them.
Yeah.
What was the name of your roommate?
Prior to Justin was my, at that time, girlfriend, Casey. We lived there for 4 years before she moved out.
So let me understand this. After your girlfriend left you in the apartment, you had 3 roommates, 1 for 3 months, 1 for 2 months, and how long did the plaintiff live there?
7 months.
Did you collect security? No.
Yes, I did.
Did you return his security deposit? Yes or no?
No.
Did you collect security deposit from Justin?
Yes.
Did you return the security deposit to Justin?
Yes.
What's Justin's last name?
Can I go in my phone and look?
Yes.
Okay. Do you happen to know Justin's last name when I fill out the paper? I apologize. I do not know his last name.
You do not have it.
It's been a while.
Did you ever see a lease with Justin?
No.
Did you ever get any security deposit from Justin?
Never.
Did you?
No.
Now we're understanding how this game works. Did you ever get any security deposit from Orrin?
No.
Did you?
No.
Did you ever get any security deposit from the plaintiff?
No.
Did you?
No.
There's a pattern here that I'm not liking, because that's what the case is about. The case is about the return of the plaintiff's security deposit that she paid you when she moved in. How much did you pay him in security deposit?
Altogether, $1,100.
And you never received any money from her?
No.
Perfect. And you never received any money from her?
No. I just wanted to say that I have no
I don't want you to say anything. I want you to answer my question.
I'm not part owner.
Just a second. You never got any security. Who filed this counterclaim for invasion of privacy because she videoed the property? Raise your hand.
I would...
Yep, that would be you. Miss Peterson, the case against you is dismissed. You can sit down. Mr. Peterson, the case against you is dismissed. You can sit down. You, on the other hand, are still there. You kept her security deposit, of which Mrs. Peterson nor her son ever saw a penny. By the way, you're still living there, is that correct?
Correct.
So what I want you to show me are repairs, because I assume you had to put down security when you moved into the apartment.
Correct.
So what I want you to do is show me the damage that the plaintiff caused in the apartment and your receipts for fixing it. Do not show me any damage for which you do not have receipts.
Here's some screen work.
Don't speak, just do.
Okay. Your Honor, does cleaning stuff, due to the fact things were so dirty, do those count as receipts?
No.
Okay.
You understand, Mrs. Peterson, I've dismissed the case against you. I want you to understand what he's doing. Do you understand what he's doing?
Yes.
Okay, here's...
What he's doing is unconscionable. Just don't give me a reason. I want receipts.
I'm going through them. Hardware, the doors.
Now, on what date did you move out?
I moved out on the 3rd of April.
Of this year?
Yes.
And the ceiling fan. Bear with me, Your Honor.
I'm bearing with you. When you come to court, you're supposed to be prepared. You kept her security deposit, and you kept her security deposit. You did not turn it over to your landlord. You kept it, and if you kept it, that means you have to show me receipts after April 3rd, 2019, that you did to repair the premises for damage that you allege that the plaintiff caused. And I want it, and I want it now.
I'm coming with it, Your Honor. My nephew just murdered in a mass shooting, so I'm trying to keep my depression and my anxiety low. If you can give me some time, please. It's just one more picture. Here, you could take these for now and run with these.
This is not for now. This is forever.
Okay. Oh, here it is. Sweet. Ceiling fan. Yeah, I think so. One more, Your Honor. Sorry. The ceiling fan I had to replace. I got pictures of...
Hey, Pay attention. The plaintiff moved out on April 3rd. On the 28th of April, you bought an upright vacuum cleaner.
I'm not charging for the vacuum cleaner.
Well, then what are you giving me?
Well, what receipt do you have?
Gave me...
There's probably the ceiling fan is on there, Your Honor. I
Just
apologize.
a second. You want me to guess what else is on here?
I thought I highlighted
A rear trigger
it.
nozzle, fast-setting concrete, a classic wood picket fence.
Is the ceiling fan on there? Can I look at it?
Give the whole mess back, Bird.
It's right here, white ceiling fan.
Why did you need a ceiling fan?
Because she ruined the other one.
How did she ruin the other one? You said she didn't clean it.
Yep, well, I got a picture showing what it looked like before she moved in, and then what she left it at.
What's next? Next. I need to see other pictures of damage that you allege she caused. Don't give me a mess of papers. And a receipt to fix it.
So here's the receipts. Here's the fleas she caused with the receipt that I had to get.
Just a second. Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
Ceiling fan, clean. Let's do one at a time. So I can deal with him one at a time.
What would you like, Your Honor, the ceiling fan?
No. Fleas in Lisa's room. Inspection report en route. Now, you had an animal?
I did. I had a cat.
Did you have an animal?
I have a bird.
His girlfriend spends the night there with her dog that runs 9 miles a day with her.
Your Honor, I have a picture of flea medication she uses for that.
It's not a halo.
Just a second. Did the pest control, exterminators, did you pay them? It's $75. Is that what you pay them?
Yes.
That's deducted from the $1,100. Okay, what's next?
Screens.
Pictures?
It's on here.
And bill.
Here's some more screens, too.
Did you break the screen in your room?
The screen was originally broken by his prior roommate.
That's false, Your Honor.
Just put your hands down and don't speak. When you moved in there, was the screen broken or not?
It was broken.
Did you do further damage to the screen?
Yes, but not as much as he's extending.
Well, I don't think that you broke that screen.
I have different pictures, Your Honor.
May I see?
Sure.
May I speak to when you get a chance, Your Honor?
Is this a picture of the room when you moved out? Or
everything that he wanted, but he intimidated me so much I did not feel safe.
That is false,
He would not let me come in to return anything.
Understand me, sir. So far from the $1,100, I'm deducting $75. Do you understand?
Yes.
He wouldn't let me return anything he tries to charge me for. He's trying to charge me $100 for these 2 prints. He wouldn't let me return anything.
Just a second. Do those 2 prints belong to you?
I did.
Just a second.
Yes.
You want them back?
Yes.
Would you give them to him, Bird? So far, I'm allocating $45 for the screens.
Okay.
75 and 45. What's next?
What about the mold inspection report we had to get in and pay for, Your Honor?
I have a video of the mold, Your Honor.
You owe her $980 from her security deposit. Now, you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is that she videoed the inside of the house?
Correct.
Great. So you have no counterclaim. $980. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you.
Parties are excused. May step out.
We have an actual legit mold report showing that she created the mold itself.
Yeah, there's a mold infestation and proof that it had been on the property.
She lived in the bedroom, never opened the windows, created the mold problem.
I'm really happy that she saw through some people's games.
She's a disgusting person and learn from the lesson is.
And thank you so much, Judge Judy. Thanks.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harris versus Washington. Step forward.
Danielle Harris is suing her former friend, William Washington, for damage to a third party's vehicle after William had an accident while driving her car.
Mr. Washington, how long have you known Miss Harris?
Since I was young.
So for a very long time?
Yes.
And you were driving her car on what date?
Around May.
In May of last year?
Yes.
And tell me why you were driving her car.
Because she needed her car fixed, and it had a blown head gasket. So she didn't know what was wrong with it. I have found out what was wrong with it.
Just a second.
Oh, okay.
Her car blew a gasket.
Mm-hmm.
how did you find out that her car blew a gasket?
It had antifreeze leaking inside the oil where it mixed and it turns into like a milky color.
Now, did she ask you to find out what was wrong with the car?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is why I don't believe a word of what you're telling me. You don't necessarily have to have collision insurance, but you're mandated, if you have insurance, to have liability insurance. So you want to waste my time and go show me that this car was a covered car under...
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Danielle Harris says, former friend William Washington owes for damaging a third party's vehicle while he was driving her car.
Now, did she ask you to find out what was wrong with the car?
Yes.
How did she ask you? Were you just friends or dating? What were you?
Let's say dating.
You were dating.
Yes.
And so you drove the car frequently?
Yes.
How frequently? Did you ever drive when you went out for dinner, when you went out to a movie, when you went to a friend's house? She always drove?
No, the car wasn't drivable. She had another car, and she needed to fix.
So this car wasn't drivable? Mm-mm. What kind of car was it?
2005 Pontiac Aztek.
And she had another car?
Yes.
That was drivable?
Yes.
And did you have your own apartment, or did you sometimes stay with Miss Harris?
No.
No is what?
No, I didn't stay with Danielle Harris. We wasn't together then.
Okay. So she just asked you to find out what was wrong with her car. So you were driving it?
Yes.
Now, were you driving it to a mechanic, or were you just driving it around?
Driving it around to see what was the problem.
Now, when you were driving it around, did you pick it up from her house?
No, I had it towed because the battery was dead when I went to go get it. So I had to get it towed.
So where did you get it?
In front of her house.
So you had it towed from Miss Harris's house to your friend's house?
Yes, yes.
And do you remember what date that was?
March, because it was sitting.
So in March, you took the car from Miss Harris to work on?
Yes.
And you worked on it from March until May?
Yes.
When did you get it running?
I'm gonna say about the middle of May, because that's when I told her it's fixed.
So in mid-May, you called her? Did you see her in March?
No.
Did you see her in April?
No.
But in mid-May, you called her and said the car is fixed?
Yes.
Okay, you remember that phone call?
No.
Well, he towed the car, he says, in March. Is that accurate?
No.
When did he tow the car?
He's telling a lie. He had this car in his possession probably in late 2017. The car was being sold to him. He wasn't driving it trying to fix it for me. The car was being sold to him. I had it posted on Craigslist. I have evidence.
So the car was being sold, and he was going to buy the car from you?
Yes.
But he had not yet bought the car from you. You had not changed title. Is that correct? Is that correct?
No, it's not correct.
So you had given him title to the car?
No, he didn't have the title to the car.
So he didn't have title to the car, so he couldn't register it?
Yes, he couldn't register it.
Judy continues in a moment.
He drives the car, he gets into an accident, and the other car sues you for almost $5,000. If you allow somebody to drive your car, it should be insured.
Okay, but I didn't allow him to drive the car. He was driving under not my permission.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Danielle Harris says, former friend William Washington owes for damaging a third party's vehicle while he was driving her car.
Now, if he couldn't register the car because he didn't have the title, the sale of the car was not complete.
Correct.
So you owned the car.
Right.
Did you have the car registered?
Yes, the car was registered.
Good. And I'd like to know the name of your insurance carrier.
Allstate.
Well, if you had Allstate insurance, then you had to have had liability insurance. And therefore, if you had liability insurance, because this is what this case is about, this is why I don't believe a word of what you're telling me, Miss Harris. If the car was registered and it had insurance, and if Mr. Washington was driving the car and he had an accident when he was driving the car, and he damaged a third party, now, you don't necessarily have to have collision insurance to have liability insurance. So you want to waste my time and go show me that this car on the date of the accident was a covered car under Allstate?
The car wasn't covered in insurance. The car was mine technically in my name, but I was selling him in payments. I didn't put the car over into his name until he was done with the payments.
Miss Harris, you're not getting any money. If you allow somebody else to drive your car and it's uninsured, they have an accident, that's your responsibility. That's not his responsibility. That's your responsibility. You want to have no responsibility? Sell him the car. You were selling him the car, according to you, for $600. Then you have no responsibility. Now, he drives the car, he gets into an accident, and the other car sues you for almost $5,000. If you allow somebody to drive your car in your name, it should be insured.
Okay, but I didn't allow him to drive the car. He was driving under not my permission, and I have evidence for that, too.
Sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, your name, your car, insurance. If you have no
insurance, got taken off because I was selling it. It was several people that asked to actually buy the car within that day. He begged me to take it off of Craigslist for him to get it out, like, to do payments, and we agreed to do payments.
Then keep it insured.
I didn't know that to keep it insurance when you're selling the car.
You were selling the car. You had not sold the car. As long as you had not sold the car, you have to keep it insured. And if he gets into an accident, it's your responsibility. If he didn't just damage another car, but if he hurt somebody, it would still be your responsibility. And his, but yours too. Do you understand? You can't come to court when you own a car that you don't insure and have either a good story, a not so good story, so that you want somebody else to pay for something that you could have avoided if you had insurance. Now, you drove another car, didn't you?
Yes, that was my car.
Just a second, and so you had insurance.
I took it off in 2017 when I was selling it.
We're done. Thank you very much. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I don't feel like I should be responsible for his crash.
The brakes went out, and didn't know it was out.
Like, he's driving the car. He wasn't supposed to drive the car.
Went into another car, coming to a stop sign.
He's definitely responsible.
I don't know. It is what it is.
He's not friends. His whole family is cut off.
Is this what they jackhammered?
Yes.
A mistake by mason workers was set in stone.
You and the crew went out and started to jackhammer the driveway, and you destroyed her property because you weren't smart.
Are they paving their way to unemployment?
You said, I want a new driveway.
For $4,000?
Don't.
What?
There's only one person here that has attitude.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Camilla Latini is suing cement mason Rudolfo Contreras and his employee, Gary Gomez, for mistakenly tearing up her driveway.
Order. All rise. It's case number 5 on the calendar, the matter of Latini versus Contreras Gomez.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Latini, you own a home and jackhammered and dug up part of your driveway.
That's correct.
And they did so because they were under the mistaken impression that you would hire them to do that.
I'm not sure what, okay. Yeah.
But that's what they say.
Okay.
They were under the impression that you had hired them to do that. Mr. Contreras, you own this company?
No, it's not a company. It's a side job. We're both cement masons.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
Concrete, cement mason.
Okay. So this isn't a side job. This is what you do for a living.
It's what I do for a living, yes.
All right. And you and your partner did, in fact, go on to plaintiff's property and jackhammer part of her cement driveway. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Don't think of where I'm going. Just answer the questions.
All right.
Plaintiff never hired you to do that.
No.
This is what your defense is. You were contacted by someone on the internet who said that they owned this property that belongs to the plaintiff, and they wanted a new driveway. And you gave these people a quote. What was the quote for the new driveway?
$6,000.
$6,000. to put in a new driveway. You must have gone to the property to look at it.
Yes.
She wasn't there.
Correct.
Neither was the person that you were dealing with over the internet. Said, your price is agreeable. I'll wire you the money. But before I wire you the money, I want you to wire me $300 so I know that it's a legitimate place where I'm sending the money. So you sent that person who claimed to be the owner of the plaintiff's property a wire from your bank account for $300, correct?
Incorrect.
You say you sent them $300. How did you send it to them?
That was sent, me and this supposedly owner.
Just a sec. Did you send them $300?
Yes.
How did you send them $300?
Through communications, through the text messaging, through the phone.
No, you can't send a text message with $300. How did you send them the $300?
Wired.
That's what I said. You sent them a wire for $300. And then you and the crew went out and started to jackhammer the driveway. And when you tried to get them to get you $6,000, according to you, they disconnected their phone, they disconnected their line. Now, she comes home, she finds a driveway jackhammer. She said, who the heck are you? He said, but we were hired to put it in a driveway. She said, I never hired you to put it in a driveway. That's the story.
Funny for you, huh? No, that is not what I told her. I haven't said much of anything for starters.
Well, I'm
with
just
all due
reading,
respect.
just a second. I'm reading your answer. And that's in a Reader's Digest form. So you tell me, did the plaintiff hire you to do a new driveway? That's a yes or a no.
No. And yes.
You tell me how yes. You tell me how the plaintiff hired you to put in a new driveway. Mr. Contreras, don't make yourself look foolish, because if what I suggested was the accurate description of what happened, that you were hired by this person who you never met because he said he was out of town getting cancer treatment, which is what you wrote in your answer. And so you wired him $300 so he could confirm that he was dealing with a legitimate outfit before he sent you the $6,000 to do the driveway. You tell me what part of that is wrong. That's what you wrote.
For one, he was claiming to be the owner, okay?
I don't care whether he was claiming to be God.
It was a big scam, is what I'm getting at.
Just a second.
Okay.
If you opened up your ears, and if you used your ears more than your mouth, and used your brain, you would understand that's exactly what I just said. That's exactly the scenario that I just said, that $100. And you destroyed her property because you weren't smart, which is clear to me how it happened. Crystal clear to me how it happened. Are you his partner?
I'm right here beside him.
What?
Yeah.
Good. The only question is, you said to her, I'll fix the part that I jackhammered. He said, I'll fix the part that I jackhammered. You said, I want a new driveway. That's what he says.
For $4,000?
Just don't, John.
What?
Listen, you have to understand something. You and your partner made a mistake. You got conned. It's like somebody I had here yesterday told me that she met a guy online from Nigeria who said to her, I want to come and live with you but I need to know your bank information. That's what happened to you. That's really what happened to you. You said, listen, you're in the concrete business. I have a house. I want you to do a job for me, but I want to make sure I'm dealing with a legitimate outfit. So wire me $300. I'll send it right back to you along with $6,000 to do the driveway. You sent them the $300. They closed their line. You never heard from them again. And you destroyed another person's property who had nothing to do with you. You got scammed. But between you, who were dumb and got scammed, and the plaintiff, your only question that I have to decide is, and that's going to be based on pictures, is I want to see what the driveway looked like jackhammered. I want to see whether patching the driveway is sufficient, or you charged $6,000 to put in a new driveway. There's no question. I've had and I have a lot of driveways. Unless you do the whole driveway, it looks like a patch job. It looks like one piece is done in 2020 and one piece is done in 2002, and it doesn't look right. So now I have to see what part you jackhammered and whether reasonably it can be repaired or whether she needs a new driveway. That's the law. Now, may I see photographs, please?
Well, this photograph is...
Just don't tell me what the photograph is. Just Hand it to me.
That's before the damage. The one after is after.
Don't talk. Don't talk. Just
don't talk.
Stuff.
This is like a silent movie. This is a before and after picture. What does that mean?
The stack of pictures, that's the after I had it repaired. And it does look like a patchwork job. I just was desperate to have it fixed. So.
Well, it is a halfway job. Is this the fix?
That's the fixed.
And is this... Can I see the bill, what you spent to have it fixed? Just the bill to have it fixed. Good, thank you. I want to know how much you spent to have it fixed. I have 2 checks.
Yes,
$2,268 are the 2 checks that I have.
Yes, so the gentleman that fixed it, we paid 1 check to him before he started the job and another check to him after he finished.
So you spent $2,268.
And also $895 for the concrete. To save us money, he said that if I ordered the concrete myself and saved him doing that, that I could save some money. So.
Got it. Listen, she got a bargain. You charge
$4,000, you do the whole driveway.
Listen to me. You watch your attitude. There's only one person here that has attitude.
Oh.
Listen to me. For people who were stupid enough to get scammed by this person, I would not be so aggressive. You were charging this man who was... hey, I'm speaking. You may get away with that at home, not in here. You were charging this guy $6,000 for a new driveway. She had the thing done for 31 feet.
That wasn't even a third of the driveway.
Judgment for the plaintiff.
Oh, I had additional. I hired a private investigator to find them.
Yeah, you charged that one on the bill, too.
And I'd lost wages.
Yeah,
you would have
what?
answered your phone, we could have done it.
Nobody called.
She did it work. She would large wages, right?
I'm gonna need you to be quiet. Really? No.
Right.
I'm gonna need you to be quiet.
I didn't know if someone had done this as an act of vandalism.
I understand we did a mistake. Okay, I got scammed. That's that.
I didn't know what happened, so it was pretty scary.
I could have fixed it for her. I would have paid the concrete out of pocket. I'm still scammed out of $400.
I hired a private investigator actually to even find them. I had no idea who had done the damage.
I could have paid for the concrete, done the work, done deal. Everybody's happy. She never gave me the opportunity.
I'm glad my driveway's fixed.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Speller versus Jelks. Step forward, please.
Sharon Speller is suing mechanic Dwight Jelks for the cost of car parts and for the value of a vehicle that went missing.
Mr. Jelks, I'm going to start with you. The plaintiff brought a car into you to be fixed.
Correct.
And it was an old car, and it was a car that she had inherited from someone. Was she able to drive it in, or did she tow it?
I towed it.
So you went to her house and you towed it?
Correct.
Had you known her before?
A few years.
Now, on what date did you tow this car in to your shop?
I want to say October.
Of last year?
Correct.
And when had you inherited the car, Ms. Speller?
Like September of 2016.
From whom?
My uncle.
Had you been driving it?
Yeah, I drove the car from Alabama.
When?
Like September of 2016.
And then what did you do with it?
It started cutting off. So then I called Dwight to come see, why the car was cutting off. Dwight he had the car. It was going back and forth, and forth. Me and Dwight.
On what date did you give him the car?
I said maybe like September 18th of 2016. He gave me the car back to try to take it to the emissions test, like in November. It didn't work out.
Just a second. So in November of 2016, it didn't pass emissions?
Yes.
So you couldn't register it?
It had already been registered.
That is not correct.
If it had already been registered, why would you take it to emissions?
Because when I had the car, I had to get the car in my name, and it wouldn't pass the emission. You know how they give you time to get it fixed?
Just a second.
Yes.
So it didn't pass emissions in November?
Mm-hmm, yes.
So what did you do with the car between November of 2016 and October of 2018, is my question. Drove it for a while, and then it would break down.
Yes, ma'am.
And what year car was this?
This is a 1994 Buick LeSagne.
So the car is about 25 years old.
Yeah, but it was in good condition. Only had
well, evidently not if it kept breaking down.
Real cases, real people, Judge Judy. Sharon Speller says mechanic Dwight Jelks is responsible for the disappearance of her car.
So what did you do with the car between November of 2016 and October of 2018 is my question.
From my house back to Dwight's.
I don't want you to call him by his first name. Mr. Jelks.
Mr. Jelks.
So it went back to Mr. Jelks.
Yes.
Is what you're telling me over a 2-year period, it went back and forth to be fixed?
Yes.
And it was unregistered? Just, that's either a yes or a no. If it's a yes, it was registered, you'll show me the registration.
Yes.
So was it registered
Yes.
between 16 and 18?
Yes.
Show me.
The car was registered when it got towed.
Where? This is 2016. I want to see that the car was registered between 2016 and 2018.
No, the license plates had expired by then.
Well, then why are you wasting my time giving me nonsense when I ask you for something? You think if you just give me a piece of paper, it's going to suffice? So the answer is between 2016 and 2018, the car was not registered.
Yes.
So between 2016 and 2018, I'm going to ask you this question again. What were you doing with the car?
It was going back and forth.
How is it getting back and forth? What? Stand. Name.
My name is Hollis Heron. I'm her son. Between 2016 and 2018, a car run like for a few days, like, and then it'll overheat.
I want to know what was happening with the car between 2016 and 2018 when it wasn't registered.
Because we was trying to get it registered every time it was something different. First, the fuel pump went out. He took the car back to fix the fuel pump. We get the car, we was gonna take it to the emission place again. It cut off again. Then it was the battery went out. Every time it was time to get the car back,
So
it was
the
something
car
different.
was not drivable. You drove it for a while and then it would break down.
Yes, ma'am.
And then it would continually break down and you would take it back to the mechanic to see if he could fix it.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And was he able to ever fix it?
He always
No.
No.
And what year car was this?
This was a 1994 Buick LeSabre.
So the car is about 25 years old.
Yeah, but it was in good condition. It only had
Well, evidently not if it kept breaking down.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What you say is that in October you brought it for the last time to your shop?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
The car was towed from in front of my house.
What was it doing in front of your house?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sharon Speller says mechanic Dwight Jelks is responsible for the disappearance of her car.
So the car is about 25 years old.
Yeah, but it was in good condition. It only had
Well, evidently not if it kept breaking down. Evidently not. If what you're telling me and what your mother is telling me is that over a 2-year period, it would drive, would cut out, would drive, it would overheat, it would drive, it didn't pass admissions. You could never get it registered in 2 years because it was don't tell me it was in good condition.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. This car you inherited. Now, what you say is that in October you brought it for the last time to your shop?
Yes, ma'am.
Of 2018? And then what happened?
The car was towed from in front of my house because it had expired plates.
What was it doing in front of your house?
Because I work in the back of my home, in the garage. So I was going to repair the car there, but the car got towed the day before I was going to put the motor in it. Another motor.
That's your fault.
For the car?
Yes. If you accept the responsibility as a mechanic and take custody of someone's property, you're not an insurer, but you have to exercise a reasonable standard of care to see that it doesn't get towed.
Correct.
Now, you knew that it had no plates, and you're a mechanic, so you know if the car is on your property, they won't tow it, because normal people know that, and you look like a normal person.
Correct.
You negligently left it on the street, and according to you, it was towed. She doesn't know where her car is.
In which I told her where her car was, and I was willing to pay.
Just a second. Where was her car?
Towed to City Pound.
How do you know that?
Because they notified me.
Do you have the
A card in my mailbox letting me know that the car was towed.
How much after the car was towed did you notify the plaintiff that the car was towed?
The next day.
How did you notify her?
By phone and text.
Can I see the text?
Don't have no text also.
You have no text?
Oh, ma'am.
Have no nothing?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I'd like you to give me, Bird, the low-end value of 1994, whatever this was.
$1,002.
$1,002.
$1,002.
She stated that the car was registered, in which it wasn't. That's the reason the car was towed.
Listen to me, sir. You're a mechanic.
Correct.
Your obligation is to, if I take my car into Ford or Chevrolet or a mechanical service to take care of my car, and they negligently leave my car out on the street at a meter, and the meter expires, and they keep putting tickets on it, and the car gets towed, that's your fault. You have to exercise reasonable when you were fixing this car.
Yes.
Right. The car's worth $1,002. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's all rip-off because there was never nothing wrong with the motor.
Things happen.
It was just one thing after another. I'm just glad it's over with.
The car was towed. I didn't get a chance to get it running again.
Called me and said, Miss Sharon, did you come get your car? And I said, of course not.
I told her that the car was at the pound, and she didn't go get it.
And then he called back the next day and said the car had got towed.
That's what happens.
Don't deal with alley mechanics.
You put down the $1,000.
Money was an issue from the start.
We closed on the house in January.
Shh. And her annoyed ex just can't stop.
What part of don't speak unless I'm speaking to you didn't you understand?
I will be quiet.
No, I'm done with you. You could have been tied to him forever.
Right.
You were probably very lucky because I couldn't live with him for 2 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. His boyfriend, Robert Reynolds Jr., for money owed for a deposit on a home, a headstone for the child she miscarried, an assault and harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 31 on the calendar in the matter of Williams versus Reynolds.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Williams, you and the defendant were involved in a relationship for a period of time, and you claim he owes you for 2 things.
Yes, ma'am.
The first thing is you lived together for a while in your home, and then Mr. Reynolds was going to buy a home.
Yes.
And under the, I think it was the VA bill,
Yes, ma'am.
he was allowed to buy a home without much of a down payment. He just had to put in earnest money, which was $1,000.
Yes.
And you put down $1,000
Yes,
earnest
ma'am.
money, and then you both moved into the house together.
Yes, ma'am.
In what month and year?
We closed on the house in January.
Of this year?
January 2019.
Shh. And so you moved in February?
Yes.
And you planned on living together?
Yes, we did.
When you closed on the house, you said, we closed on the house. Describe that process to me.
Abraham asked us for a down payment of $1,000, and we paid that, of course, prior, a good faith deposit.
Stand.
Yes, ma'am. We were required to put down money.
I know you were required to put down $1,000. You put down the $1,000. Then there was a mortgage. You lived there in February.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Where did you live prior to February? In your home?
Sullivan Road, an apartment.
It was just you living?
1-bedroom apartment.
And how long did Mr. Reynolds live with you?
He lived with me approximately 6 months before he moved into the home.
And Mr. Reynolds, is that correct that
No,
you...
ma'am, it is. No, ma'am, no, it's not, Judge.
Just say no.
Yes, ma'am.
How many months did you live
Approximately
with...
1 year. I'm sorry.
How many months did you live with Miss Williams in her apartment prior to moving into the house?
Approximately March to December when I closed on the home in January.
I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again. How many months did you live with Miss Williams prior to moving out and moving into the home?
Approximately 10 months.
And what were you doing to earn a living in that 10 months?
I'm a disabled veteran.
So you get something from the VA?
And I also work.
What kind of work do you do?
I've been a banquet server, bartender, and a houseman in Atlanta, Georgia since 1999. I worked several venues all throughout the city. I work at a temp agency. They sent
Really not interested?
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
So you are a disabled veteran,
yes,
in which you get a pension from the VA, and in addition, you do all kinds of other jobs all around the city. And how did you split the expenses for the 10 months that you lived with her? She paid rent in her apartment. Did you pay half the rent?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was your half of the rent?
Approximately.
Not approximately. Rent is never approximately. Rent is always an exact figure.
$100.
You paid $100
yes,
a month?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much was the total rent?
I think it's like $400, something like that. Watch. She's on the government subsidy.
All I want to know is, how much was the rent? If you don't know, say, I don't know. You're allowed to say, I don't know. You're allowed to say, I don't know what the rent was, but I gave her $100.
HUD Bash required her to pay $200 to $400 per month. She was in a HUD Bash home.
$240.
Yes, ma'am.
And you gave her you just said approximately.
I apologize, Judge Judy.
Do you know how much?
She would tell me.
You don't
Listen to me. I tried to get my husband to say this all the time, these 3 words. We've been together 44 years.
Yes, ma'am.
I still, you know, he can recite the DNA code, but he can't say 3 words. You know what the 3 words are?
I don't know.
That's right. That's right.
I've watched you.
Doesn't know.
Yes, ma'am.
It must be something in the male DNA gene. They'll make up a number, they'll make up a figure, they'll make up a... But they can't use those 3 words. Somehow it's emasculating when you say, I don't know. How many miles is it from here to Pluto? 4,968 approximately. I don't know is the answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go on. How much was your rent in the apartment where you were living?
$240.
And did he give you $100 a month?
Yes.
Good. So he helped you with the rent. Great. Now, you were able to save $1,000.
Yes.
And if you paid $240 in rent, then there must have been some kind of government subsidy of your rent.
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
I was in a program that paid for partial of my rent.
Do you work?
Yes, I'm a banquet server as well.
So you managed to save at least $1,000.
Yes.
You were able to put that down, and there was an understanding that you would be living together in this house. It didn't work out.
Yes,
so you want the $1,000 back.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, you don't get the $1,000 back because the $1,000 was put down predicated on the fact you thought you were going to live together. You didn't, in fact, live together, but there was no contract that said it was a loan.
Yes.
Second, when did you email him and say it was a loan? Before or after you left?
Before I left.
Let me see. I didn't ask you anything.
Yes, ma'am. Can I please interject something, Judge Judy?
No.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. It's so funny, though.
Here you go.
No. That's in December. I let you borrow. You sent to him. I let you borrow $1,000. That's ridiculous. You have to have a contract.
You have proof. The receipts.
There's
the
no
money on.
There's no question that you put down $1,000. The question is, was there a contract between the 2 of you that at some point, even if you lived together, he was going to return that money? And there was no agreement between the 2 of you. You have no contract that he was going to return that money, Miss Williams.
All right.
I mean, I read your case, and what I'm telling you is the only thing that has to be returned is an engagement ring. But if you live together and you're planning on living together and it doesn't work out and you put in $1,000 and he paid the mortgage in February and he paid the mortgage in March, you don't get that money back. We don't have a place for that unless there is a contract, unless when you put down the $1,000, you said to him, Mr. Reynolds, this is a loan. I'm putting down the earnest money for the house, but I'll give you the $1,000. And he says to you, I agree to pay you back. I will give you $100 a month or $200 a month in exchange for the $1,000. That has to be a contract. And there was no contract. You unilaterally telling him in a text message 3 months later, I let you borrow $1,000, it's not a contract.
All
Do you
right.
understand?
Yes,
Okay.
okay,
The
I
next
have.
part of your lawsuit is that, unfortunately, you became pregnant and lost the baby when you were in your 4th month. You claim that Mr. Reynolds is responsible for half the cost of a headstone because you decided to have a burial for the child that you lost, and you put up a headstone.
Yes.
And that cost you how much?
$800.
In what month did that happen?
November 18, 2018 is when I lost the baby.
And you were still living together at the time?
Yes.
I'd like you to tell me the conversation that you had with him regarding the headstone.
The conversation was, there was $400 that I paid.
No. That's not a conversation.
Okay.
Because not everybody memorializes a miscarriage like that with a headstone.
Yes.
In the 4th month. So I would like you to tell me what was the conversation that you had with Mr. Reynolds regarding his participation in paying for a headstone.
He said that he would pay for the monies that's the headstones due because he's the father.
Well, that's what you say he's saying to end.
The beginning to end, he said...
Yeah, look at me.
Look at you. Okay. He said, I will pay for the remaining cost because he is a dad. Yes, he will.
Is that what you said?
No, ma'am, I most certainly did not.
No.
Here's the evidence for the cost and everything that I paid.
It's not a question of what you paid.
Okay.
It's a question of whether Mr. Reynolds agreed to participate in paying for the headstone.
He participated
And I asked
in making the child, so he's the father. No disrespect.
You're not disrespecting me. You're just not understanding me.
Okay.
I asked you to tell me about the conversation. You had a miscarriage. And after you had a miscarriage, you had a conversation with him. I said, not every miscarriage is memorialized with a headstone at that term in a pregnancy.
Yes, it's very...
So I want you to tell me about the conversation that you had with him. You said to him, I want to have a headstone. And he said to you, that's the conversation. I'm going to ask you where you were when you had the conversation, what time of the day. I'm going to ask you questions like that because he said that conversation never took place.
Well, ma'am, I was there. I was at the courthouse. I asked him, I said...
You were at the courthouse?
Yes, I was at the courthouse.
What were you doing in the courthouse?
I went in there to get some paperwork.
What paperwork?
The paperwork that I needed to prove that my son was Alfonso Dawson.
Okay, so you needed to go to the courthouse to get a death certificate?
Yes.
Some sort of a death certificate?
Go back to the funeral home, yeah.
And then did you get a certificate?
Yes.
Did Mr. Reynolds go with you?
No.
Did he go with you to the courthouse?
No.
Did he go with you back to the funeral home?
Yes.
And was it at the funeral home that the headstone was ordered?
Yes, it was months later. I got a quote for the funeral. We just discussed the burial procedures at the funeral home, Alfonso Dawson.
So there was no payment at the funeral home?
Yes, we paid. I paid $400.
You paid?
Yes.
Did Mr. Reynolds pay anything?
No, ma'am.
So you paid $400 for a burial?
Yes.
And he didn't pay half?
No, ma'am.
And then you bought a stone?
Yes, the stone.
And the stone was $800?
Yes.
So he didn't pay for half the burial. What made you think he was going to pay for half the stone?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
You see the defendant
Yes.
with her little girl.
Yes.
The little girl was crying.
Yes, she's consoling her. I see this pole that's got a cement in the bottom so the wind doesn't knock it over against my car.
Okay, come up here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ashley Williams says ex-boyfriend Robert Reynolds Jr. owes for a deposit on a home, a headstone, an assault, and harassment.
So you paid $400 for a burial?
Yes.
And he didn't pay half?
No, ma'am.
And then you bought a stone?
Yes, the stone.
And the stone was $800?
Yes.
So he didn't pay for half the burial. What made you think he was going to pay for half the stone?
I was just assuming that he would just go half with me.
Well, that's not something that you do in court, Miss Williams.
Yes, sorry.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So you seem like really a very, very nice lady.
Yes.
And it seems that you were a nice lady, and you were probably very lucky because I couldn't live with him for 2 seconds.
Yes, ma'am. Right.
I couldn't live with him for 2 seconds.
Right.
So a tragedy was averted.
Yes.
You could have been tied to him forever.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, right.
Do you understand?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
could have been tied to...
Right.
Because according to you, things got a little bad. He drinks?
Yes, heavy.
Do you drink?
No.
I sort of know Mr. Reynolds drinks. Do you drink too much, Mr. Reynolds?
I most certainly do not, Your Honor. I always drink a glass of red wine every once in a while for my digestion. My nerves are bad with this young lady, and I have...
Well, you're not living with her for a long time, so how could your nerves be bad? They can't be bad with me.
She constantly lies, disappears, block her phone number.
All right, Mr. Reynolds, I'm done with you, sir. We're done.
I apologize,
And
Judge Judy. Please, Judge Judy, hear my case, please. I will be quiet.
I'm done with you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm done with you because your counterclaim is for the rent you house and didn't split the mortgage. That's what you want.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. Goodbye!
Judge Judy, I have a case.
Excuse me,
Judge Judy,
step out.
please.
We're here today because of because of our loan.
Get in the court and start lying about there's no tombstone, okay?
We're here for
She never purchased one, okay?
just pain and suffering that I had to go through.
That is not my child. I'm certain, and I wanted the DNA.
The child is his, yes.
Boom, that's right.
Don't deal with no good men, no good guys, yes.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Page versus Jackson. Step forward.
Shalitha Page is suing Brandy Jackson for car repair bills after Brandy's daughter knocked over a parking sign, damaging her vehicle.
Miss Page, it is your claim that the defendant's little girl, that's this little girl here, is responsible for damage to your car.
Yes.
So I'd like you to tell me when that happened, where it happened, and how it happened.
On February 13th, I had pulled up to pick my girls up from the Boys and Girls Club, and I had pulled up in front. My girls were on their way out, and I hear this loud boom. I didn't realize if it was my system or...
I don't care what you heard a boom.
I heard a boom, and so I'm just looking around because I didn't see them, but I hear someone honking, and at that point, I knew that I needed to get out of my car, and so I got out of my car.
Did you feel something hit your
I have a system
car?
in my car.
What?
I have a system in my car, and I listen to loud bass music, and it was so
That's
I was just
annoying.
like I didn't know what happened. So when I heard the person honking their car, I knew at that point I needed to get out of my car. So I put my car in park. I got out and came around, and I saw these two in the back corner of my car. Her daughter was crying hysterically. She's trying to comfort her, tell my kids to get in the car, and I'm like, I see this sign.
Just a second.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The intervening act that caused damage to her car was the fact that you didn't have control of your daughter.
But she wasn't supposed to be parked there in the first place, Your Honor.
Now, do you have any other argument that you want to make? I just made it very fast.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Shalitha Page claims Brandy Jackson's daughter knocked over a parking sign, damaging her car.
You see the defendant
Yes.
with her little girl.
Yes.
Her little girl was crying.
Yes.
I want you to take step by step. So you see her little girl is crying, and
She's consoling her. I see this pole that's got a cement in the bottom so the wind doesn't knock it over against my car. And yes.
the Boys and Girls Club.
Two of
You
them.
tell them to get into the car. This pole with the cement block
Yes.
is leaning against your car.
Yes.
Okay. Come up here. Tell me your name.
Sydney.
You remember what happened with the lady's car?
Uh-huh.
Do you go to the Boys and Girls Club?
Not anymore, it's closed.
But did you go for a time?
Uh-huh.
And tell me what happened with the pole and the lady's car.
Me and my mom were walking outside, and I grabbed a hold of the pole, and it fell over.
And it fell over. You didn't mean to do that.
Mm-mm.
No, of course not. Okay, go and sit down. You're a very pretty little girl and very smart. Terrific. So was there a scratch on your car?
Several.
I'd like to see a picture of it.
These are just so you can see what kind of car I have, but there's that. And then here's the actual pole and the damage.
Okay, can I see an estimate for the damage,
Yes.
please? Okay. Have anything you want to tell me?
I do.
Well, let's make it brief because you're responsible for her damage. $452 is what it's going to cost. You have an adorable little girl who told me that she grabbed hold of this pole.
Yeah.
Whether she grabbed hold of it or she was trying to stand on it, she's your responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
She's a child. You have to watch her.
Yes, ma'am.
If, because of her actions, the plaintiff's car did not fly into the pole,
No.
there was an intervening act. And that intervening act was the fact that you didn't have control of your daughter. So if you're going to tell me that she wasn't supposed to be parked there because it's no parking, that's not the reason that her car was damaged.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, the reason her car was damaged was because you weren't in control of your child. That's the reason. And it says no standing, no drop-off, no pickup. That's not the reason her car was damaged. So I don't want to hear that. So forget that argument.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the arguments. Your car should not have been parked there. And your second argument in your defense was sue the city, not me, because they should not have put the sign up there. And if the sign wasn't there, we're into the plaintiff's car.
Right.
Both of those arguments fail. Now, do you have any other argument that you want to make? I just made it very fast.
Okay.
Those were the two you made in your
Yeah, I'd
defense.
like for you to see these. This is what the sign is in.
I know
which
what the
makes me
sign
think,
is in. I see it.
I think this happened before.
No, that's
Just a second. So now it's happened before.
I'm just assuming by the judge, by
It
the
doesn't
looks
matter.
of the bucket.
It doesn't matter. The intervening act that caused damage to her car was the fact that you didn't have control of your daughter. Your
But she wasn't supposed to be parked there in the first place, Your Honor.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $452. We're finished.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I witnessed someone parked in the wrong place. My daughter's a 6-year-old girl, so.
Her daughter's reckless. I mean, she's a wild child.
I was walking just a step ahead of my daughter. We were holding hands, and she grabbed the pole whenever I wasn't.
Good kid, but a wild child, and so.
I wasn't watching her.
She just knows she messed up.
Accidents happen.
Keep an eye on your kids.
Their relationship broke her,
Well, the main thing is the credit card.
and her ex's excuses won't fly.
We have airline tickets.
For him and his 3 children.
She did. On vacation.
He insisted on going. I opened a new credit card account, always with the agreement that he was going to repay me.
Your Honor, we didn't have that agreement.
That's part of the price of canoodling.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jacqueline George is suing her ex-boyfriend, Randy Schooler, for the cost of a vacation, unauthorized credit card charges, and the return or value of furniture.
Order. All rise. It's case number 96 on the calendar in the matter of George versus Schooler.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss George, you and the defendant lived together with your respective children for a period of time, and it is your claim that you made a series of loans to him during that time.
Yes.
You want your money back.
Yes.
And also that he has some furniture that you moved into his house at the time that you moved in with your children, and you also want that back. The defendant says that you did make a couple of loans to him. Those loans he paid you back for. And the loan that you allege with regard to a trip was a trip that you wanted to take to visit your family. You made the arrangements. You and Mr. Schuler move in together.
Approximately the end of June 2018.
And how many children do you have?
I have 2.
And he?
3.
Do you have custody of your children?
I do, 50%.
Okay. So you share custody
Yes.
with their mother. And you moved into his house from where?
From my home. I own a townhome.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the furniture first. I assume that the furniture that you brought from your townhome?
Yes.
What furniture did you bring?
A dining room set, a kitchen
Hold on.
set.
How long have you been in your home, Mr. Schuler?
5 years now.
Did you have a dining room?
I did.
What did you do with it?
Brought it over to my mother's place.
So you gave it to your mother?
Stored it there, yes.
Okay. Do you want the dining room set back?
I would like it back, yes.
Fine. Get your dining room set from your mother. Within 5 days, she'll come and she'll pick it up.
Sounds good.
Perfect. What's next?
He has the kitchen table and chairs.
Well, I assume you had a kitchen table in your house
I
when
did.
she moved in. What did you do with it?
Moved it upstairs in my house.
So you have it.
Yes.
5 days, you go pick up your kitchen
It was
set.
trashed.
If you don't go and pick it up, consider it abandoned.
Okay.
What's next?
A desk
Where is the desk?
in his family room was my son's bedroom desk.
Do you have it?
do.
5 days, go pick it up. What's next?
2 antique tables that he still has.
You know what she's talking about?
I know of one that I have.
5 days, go pick it up. What's next?
That's pretty much it. Everything
Very
else
good.
is done.
5 days, escort with you. I'll give you an order. Now, let's move over to...
Is she allowed to come in my house? Is that...
Not she, the moving people.
Okay.
She can wait outside. She has to get moving people to come and move all these things.
Perfect.
Not children, family, nothing. Those things, you will have an order. If you want to have someone there videotaping it, fine. Okay. Those things 5 days from today. Next loan. You loaned him $1,000 for what?
I believe it was for his daughter's trip. She was going to Switzerland.
Did he pay you back that money, that $1,000? That's either a yes or a no.
He paid a total of $14.95.
Just a second.
Yes.
Did he pay you back that $1,000? You've just taken care of that one. And then you had trouble with a tooth.
I did.
What month and year?
The tooth, I had to get a root canal and a crown put on, and that was in March of 2018.
And you lent him money for that?
Yes, on my
And did he
credit card.
pay you back?
Almost.
For that?
Almost all of it.
Good. What's next?
Well, the main thing is the credit card. So he had requested to go...
Just a second. What was it that was charged on the credit card after the two of you separated and you moved out?
These charges happened in July. We were still together. The Excel bill was automatically being deducted from my account, Excel Energy bill, because I had paid it for 1 month, and they had my bank information.
How much was that?
That was $411.11 for 3 months.
Did you return that to her?
Yes, I did.
Not true.
Show me.
Sure.
That was for August and September.
Well, I paid her different checks, and there's a check.
No, don't give me everything. Don't give me the kitchen sink. I'm talking only about the power bill.
I was liable included for $1,912 with the dental bill, the loan, and the Excel Energy. That's a personal loan that I felt I needed to pay back.
Talking about the electric bill, just the electric bill, that you acknowledge was taken out of her account. You wouldn't acknowledge that in your answer.
Yes.
I want to know if you gave it back to her. And if you did, show me proof that was after the two of you separated.
Not in one lump sum. Actually, the $500 cash that I did in September.
No, $411. Okay, $411 is yours. Okay, now, what else do you think, understanding that you gave him the credit card to use, and you gave him the credit card, according to you, when you were all going on vacation. You were going on vacation, and you were going to visit your family.
Yes.
Yes. In what month?
What month were we going to visit my family? Was
What
July.
month did you go?
It was for 4th of July, yes.
And you went?
Yes.
In July. And you went with your 2 children and yourself and his 3 children and himself.
And they stayed in a separate motel, and I stayed in an apartment with my family. My children didn't want him to go on our family vacation.
Listen to me. Understand where we're going. If your children didn't want him to go on a family vacation, you probably shouldn't have gone with him. But you went. Now, you flew, correct?
Yes.
And you purchased the tickets.
I opened a new credit card account, always with the agreement that I was always going to pay for myself and my children. He was always going to pay for himself and his children. And that is why he has a card in his own name.
Just a second. Miss George, did you ever go out for dinner when you were away on this vacation?
Yes.
What credit card did you use? Because I'm going to look at the bills.
Okay.
Did you use the credit card that you had given to him, or did you use a different credit card that was just in your name?
There was one dinner that he paid for because my family fed him the rest of the vacation.
Not because your family was there?
2 of my relatives were there.
You have to understand where I'm going. Where I'm going with this is when 2 people decide to live together and aren't married, and what they do is they sort of combine and play house. And they go together. Now it's your family. Now you want a judge, you want court to look at that dinner and say, how much did your cousin eat? And how much did your cousin's husband eat? And then there's you and your 2 children. You want me to separate that. And courts don't do that. We don't have time for that nonsense. If you choose to convolute the extent of your togetherness, we don't explore who had the pasta and who had the veal chop. That's not happening.
I understand that, but
that's not happening.
Other charge is for him and his children.
Just a second. And
except for that dinner, every charge he charged, it's under his name. I'm an accountant. That's why I did it.
Fine.
We had the agreement that he was going to repay me.
Just a second. No. And I would like to see the charges on that. Listen to me. I don't care if you're an accountant. If you were an accountant, you wouldn't have gotten yourself into this trouble.
Right, and I was only in it for 6 weeks, and I left him.
May I just see the statement for the trip? Take a pen and outline the expenses that he was supposed to pay for, and that credit card, with the exception of the one dinner, just so that we get it right, the exception of the one dinner are all his expenses for himself and his children. Say nothing.
Your Honor, we didn't have that agreement.
Just a second.
Okay.
Let me explain something to you, sir.
Okay.
If all of these expenses on this card are just for you and your children, you're going to pay for it. That's it.
This is all him and his children. And then there's one more statement. It's 30. I'm just showing the dates. And this was all in July of 2018.
Your Honor, we had a different agreement for her living there rent-free.
Not true.
She had her own condo, so she wasn't living rent-free.
She moved in.
She moved in with you, but she had her own condo, which I assume she was paying for.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Right. And that's part of the price of canoodling.
Okay.
Got it?
Sure.
It's not as if she moved in with you and gave up her apartment. She moved in with you for a month. She lived with you for a month or 6 weeks, and she paid for her maintenance, her taxes, and everything else on her own apartment.
But she...
I own my own home.
Just a second.
I own my home.
I didn't ask you.
Okay. His mother owns his. I just wanted to mention that.
Okay. This is on your card. I'm going to go over...
I never gave American Express authorization.
You're Randy Scholler. Is that correct?
Yep.
That's your name.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask you a few things here, okay? This is July 2nd of 2018. Comcast Cable.
Yes.
Now, you paid, with using your credit card, Comcast Cable for where?
For bill, monthly bill.
That was a monthly bill?
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever paid that before?
Yes, I paid.
Okay, but not with this credit card?
No.
And you've been living in your house 5 years?
Yes.
So in July... Previous.
She was living there since March.
Not true.
If you speak out again, I'm going to dismiss your case. Do you understand? Perfect. So that's the first time. July 3rd, Angelo's Pizza, $17.
For the whole, all of us, kids, her kids, our
Impossible. Wawa.
That's when we were on the trip in New Jersey.
Okay.
So we were all together.
That's $46. Well, that's possible that it's $46.09. These are all little things. Maury's Piers Adventures. Now, that's interesting.
They're not all mine.
Speaking.
Okay.
Maury's Piers, that's an adventure place? Who went?
I don't know the date because we went a few times.
This is the 4th of July.
I was with my family, with my children, and my charges are separate. So there are Maury's Pier charges under my name for when I went with his kids. That was just him and his
What
kids.
I'm asking you is, did you go on July 4th with him to Maury's Piers?
No, I was with my family.
You did not?
I did not.
Okay.
I believe I took her kids with me that time.
What you believe is not necessarily important to me. You went shopping on July 11th, and it was a big shopping bill, July 11th, and that was in Littleton.
That's where we reside.
That's where you live.
Yes.
And you used this credit card.
Too.
It was a grocery store, King Supers.
That's providing groceries for all of us. Her kids, Jackie, all of us. She said use this card for expenses.
Okay. Nothing terribly unusual here.
I was given the card.
Just shh.
Sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Hi, Stephanie. This is Jackie, Randy's ex. He's a pathological liar and owes me thousands of dollars. Good luck with him. Everyone thinks he's a good guy. You'll find out. He's so not. Not terrifying. Maybe she's giving her good advice. What else?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jacqueline George says, ex-boyfriend Randy Schooler owes for a vacation, credit card charges, and furniture. Randy is countersuing for trespassing and harassment.
Now what I would, just for my own giggle, State Farm Insurance in Illinois. That's a big bill. That's $629, sir. What insurance is that?
That's got to be for my truck.
That's your truck. Well, you don't expect her to pay your truck insurance, do you?
No.
No. $629. So it's $630 because it's $629.90. And there was a lot of sort of grocery shopping until the things that I'm going to deal with, except your car insurance. Because as I said, I'm not going to separate a Mexican restaurant in Littleton for $88 and whose children ate what. Okay, so far he owes you $1,041. Do we have anything else? We have airline tickets.
We have airline
We have
tickets.
airline tickets. Fine. And how much were his airline tickets, and how did you charge them?
His airline tickets were $1,178.74.
For whom?
For him and his 3 children.
Okay, let me see.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Sure.
She did tell me that she would take care of this trip and take my kids. She wanted me and my girls. That's where the untruth is, what she's saying. She promised me she would take care of the trip, either transfer her balance to another 0% credit card or pay it off herself. She said, do not worry about that. She wanted me to go. She wanted my girls to go.
Well, how old are you?
48.
48. Pay for yourself, pay for your own children.
I would choose to go someplace else versus going to see her family.
What's next?
Can I say
No.
something?
What's next?
Car insurance.
I took care of that already.
And it was never a gift. That is why.
Just listen to me. I took care of that already.
There
I
was
figured
only
in the
one
dental
dinner
bill.
out of the 32.
I don't care. Judges are not going to say you ate the pork chop and you had a pasta.
But they were
Do you
all of
understand?
his charges.
To dinner. He took your children out to dinner. We're not getting into that. You decided that that's the way you wanted to run this. Run it that way, but you don't have to pay for his car insurance.
Okay.
So far, he owes you $2,278.
I paid it back for the trip.
Just a second.
Okay.
The loans I took care of is what you're telling me that you paid her back for the trip.
And the demo.
Don't annoy me.
Yes, ma'am.
If first you tell me that wasn't our agreement and I wasn't supposed to pay for the trip, and then you tell me I paid her for the trip.
Not for the trip. I paid
I'm not.
the personal loans.
Just a second.
Okay.
I gave you credit for that, sir.
Okay.
She's not paying for your car insurance. She's not paying for your children's airfare for vacation. She's not paying for the Comcast bill. Do you understand those things? Good. Those things all come to $2,278, and she'll pick up her furniture in 5 days from today, and then you'll have nothing to do with her. Now you have a ridiculous counterclaim. You want to tell me what it is?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you married?
No.
Were you married when she sent this?
Yes.
Well, you were married. So she says you're messing around. Maybe her husband shouldn't find a stray bullet. If that's what she says. Don't mess around with married ladies.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jacqueline George says ex-boyfriend Randy Schooler owes for a vacation, credit card charges, and furniture.
Now you have a ridiculous counterclaim. You want to tell me what it is?
It's not a ridiculous counterclaim. She came over to my house after we were separated. We heard a noise out in front of my house. She had her lights on behind my witness's car. She came into my garage through the opened the garage part. We knew it was Jackie. I'm like, holy cow, Jackie's here. I ran downstairs, locked the deadbolt to the entryway coming into the house. Told her, Jackie, you have to go. She left, and I closed the other garage. We changed the garage code, did all that. About 2 hours later, she sent Stephanie, my witness, a nasty text that she was terrified about. I'm Randy's ex-girlfriend.
I'd like to see the text.
Okay.
I'd like to see the text. Thank you.
I also have the text.
I don't want to hear you.
Okay.
What part of I don't want to hear you?
I'm sorry.
Thing is, I don't know how she got Stephanie's number.
This is not a terrifying... I don't care whether your girlfriend is terrified. This is not a terrifying... He called me today trying to get back with me and told me...
That's a lie.
Okay,
sorry.
This is your evidence that I'm just reading. He called me today trying to get back with me and told me he isn't dating anyone, wanted to save you the trouble. I'm not a crazy ex. He's a pathological liar and owes me thousands of dollars. Good luck with him, but thought you should know. Everyone thinks he's a good guy. You'll find out. He's so not. Not terrifying. Maybe she's giving a good advice. What else?
That's not... Can I follow it up with message she texted me? I have a couple that I would like you to read.
So far, you have a zero.
She came into my house. It's trespass. It's illegal that she came in.
So far, you owe her $2,278 in her furniture. I don't find this message terrifying.
Okay.
What's next? What do you find terrifying?
I have some harassing texts that she sent me.
I'd like to read them.
The ones that are highlighted?
I'd like to read them.
Okay. There's a couple. Thank you.
Are you married?
No.
Were you married when she sent this?
Yes.
Well, then this
separated.
That's married. Well, you were married. So she says you're messing around. Maybe her husband shouldn't find a stray bullet, if that's what she says. Don't mess around with married ladies. Next. Okay. So can you answer this question for me? This was in October. All right, so you're already out. You're out. What are you doing outside his house on October 4th?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This was in October. All right, so you're already out. You're out. What are you doing outside his house on October 4th?
He lives a mile from me, and I drive by. My kids' friends live over there.
Who is she? I'm outside your house. I cannot believe you. What a loser. When am I getting my things back? Who is she? Why? What do you care?
He was still trying to manipulate me and try to get back with me.
He owes you $2,278 plus your furniture. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She trespassed on my property. She sent me ugly, harassing text messages.
I drove by his house, and I had a garage door opener, and I did open his garage door, and I tried to warn her.
She's a spurned lady that it didn't work out. I never was attracted to her.
About what kind of a, narcissistic user, manipulator, jerk he is, and
it just didn't work out, and she's spurned and unhappy. I wish I would have never met her, and a message out there, be careful who you invite into your life and into your circle.
Her boyfriend's home became a battleground.
You and the plaintiff had a fight. So now the relationship is over.
Then she stood her ground.
A judge excluded Mr. Allison from his own home.
The judge, whenever I got the emergency order of protection, gave me possession.
There's something that sounds unfair to me.
When I first gained access to the house, virtually everything was gone.
Where did you take his possessions?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Brandon Allison is suing his ex-girlfriend, Nicole Cook, for damaged and stolen property and for filing a false restraining order.
Order. All rise. It's case number 14 on the calendar, the matter of Allison versus Cook.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Miss Cook, I'm going to start with you. You and your children moved in to Mr. Allison's home in what month and year?
We officially moved everything.
Correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you own this home?
I do, Your Honor.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 children.
And in what month did Mr. Allison leave the house as a result of the order of protection that you filed?
That was in December of 2018.
So you had lived there a total of 5 months
Yes, Your
with your
Honor.
children?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is what the case is about. You and Mr. Allison had an argument. The argument became a physical argument. At some point, you went to court and filed for a protective order against him.
Yes, Your
Is that
Honor.
right? And at the time that you filed for a protective order against Mr. Allison, you were not, in fact, in the home. You were not, in fact, in the home. You had left the home with your children.
Mr. Allison changed the locks to the home that we were living in.
Ms. Cook, let's be clear. At the time you filed for a protective order against Mr. Cook, after this argument, you and your children were not living in the home.
Yes, Your Honor.
How long had you not been in the home? Number of days or more?
3 to 4 days, Your Honor.
And where were you living for the 3 or 4 days with your children?
We had to reside at a hotel.
Where had you been living before you moved in with Mr. Allison?
I had a residence in Collinsville, Illinois.
You rented a place?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So what I want a protective order, which you got ex parte, which means you went by yourself, because whatever order you requested, somehow a judge excluded Mr. Allison from his own home.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I would like to see why, because that's what this case was about. This case is about the fact that you and the plaintiff had a fight. Nothing good about that. You had been living together for 5 months. It wasn't that you knew each other for years before that. You had been actually living together for 5 months. And you, of according to you, you had a life before that. You lived with your children, you had a residence. So now the relationship is over. And I'm not quite understanding why you think you had the right to go back and stay in that home and exclude Mr. Allison.
Your Honor, the judge, whenever I got the emergency order of protection, gave me possession. I never asked for it. It
well,
was
that's what I
just
want
granted.
to see. That's what I want to see, because there's something that sounds markedly unfair to me. Doesn't it sound unfair to you to put someone out of their home for, I don't know, 3 months or more? Mr. Allison says that when he got back, there were things missing from the house that belonged to him, and that's what the case is about. So I would like to see your application for a protective order. Absolutely outrageous. I've read the allegations that you make in your application for a protective order, and you were out of the house. Actually, there's no place in this application for protective order that says to the court that this is his home and that you were living there a relatively short period of time, less than half a year. And the most that you talk about here is that he broke your phone during an argument. That's pretty much it, that you had fights and he broke your phone. And for that, the judge found on your ex parte application that both parties have the right to occupy the premises, but the balance of equities reside in your favor. Outrageous. Just outrageous. Okay. The order was in December of 2018. On what date did you finally get back into your house, Mr. Allison?
Your Honor, I regained full access, unfettered access to my home on the 30th of March.
Did you ever have a hearing on this order of protection?
Ma'am, we had many hearings, Your Honor.
How was it finally resolved? Is there a final order of protection is the question?
Yes.
Can I see a copy of that?
Yes, Your Honor. And I do have 2 amended OPs as well, if you'd like to see those.
Yes. How many hearings did you have?
Everything said and done, I'd say...
How many hearings did you have, Ms. Cook?
4. I would say around 7.
Oh, so he granted... It was filed on December 17th, where the judge granted exclusive occupancy to you of the premises. And then there's some kind of scribble here. Is this the way they do that there?
Yes, Your Honor.
For 4 months, until April 17th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you pay all of the utilities on the residence starting in December?
Yes, Your Honor, I did. And I even
Until
paid,
when?
Until I moved out, and I even paid back utilities that Mr. Allison had failed to pay.
Whatever. You paid the utilities. That was ordered by the judge, because evidently he went a little crazy. Now that I have a picture of what was going on here, I'd like you to tell me what damage to the property do you allege, and what property do you allege she took without your permission?
So when I first gained access to the house, that would have been on March 29th. Virtually everything was gone. My furniture, my televisions, things that I collected in active duty.
Did you get them back?
I did at the last moment.
How did you get them back?
I filed for a motion with the order of protection judge, and the judge ordered that she return my possessions within 7 days.
Where did you take his possessions?
They were our possessions, and our stuff was all mixed into 3 different storage units.
You moved into his house in July. When you moved into his house, was his house furnished or not furnished?
Semi. We collected...
When you moved out on March 29th, did you take some of his furniture?
No, I did not take any of his furniture when I moved out on March 29th.
Did you take his furniture at any other time prior to March 29th?
There was a couch set that we had gotten, and there was a bedroom set that he had given my daughter, which he has back.
So you took furniture and you returned it?
I did not take furniture that was not partly mine.
What are you alleging, sir, that she took of yours that you still don't have?
There are a lot of things that can't be...
Look at me.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
You want to tell me what you're alleging that she took of yours that you didn't get back?
Of a monetary value would be a Roku stick.
What is that?
It plugs into the television so that you can watch Netflix and whatnot.
Next.
Next. A personal hair trimmer.
Next.
Okay. I understand. Right.
I mean, I actually think that some judge gave her the opportunity to stay in your home. I can't go beyond that. Do you understand that, Mr. Allison? Okay. So I'm not going beyond that. And you're obtaining the part of your case that deals with filing for a false restraining order. So your case has 2 parts to it. The first part of your case is items that you allege that she took that you didn't get back. And so far, I'm hearing a lot of nonsense. You want to tell me if there's anything important that you didn't get back, not your hair trimmer.
The most important thing would be my washer and dryer set that I bought in November. It was $1,284.
I'd like to see the bill. Washer and dryer, did you take it?
That was returned to the store, Your Honor.
It was what?
It was returned to the store, Your Honor.
Why was it returned to the store?
Because we had separated and the washer and dryer was bought with my money.
Just a second. So you bought it, you used it for 4 months, and is what you're telling me the store gave you your money back?
Your Honor, it was not used for 4 months and it was returned.
No. Was it installed in the house?
They delivered it to install it, yes. Yes.
Was it installed in the house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you use it to wash clothes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then the store didn't take it back and give you money?
Yes, Your Honor, they did.
Prove it to me. Prove it to me that the store... I'll wait right here. Go get somebody at the store to tell me that they gave you back the money. I don't care if you used it for a month. You get where I'm going?
I do.
Good. $1,283.74. That's the washer and dryer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next.
As far as property, monetary value?
Property. Washer and dryer is property.
That was by far the biggest one.
Okay, then let's move on.
Okay.
Now you say that there was damage to the home. I'd like to see photographs of the damage.
Mind you, one of those pictures, Your Honor, is the storage unit that my items were in.
I don't know what this is.
Those are door handles that were ripped off, Your Honor. Ripped off of one was the bathroom closet door, the other was the guest bedroom door. There were holes punched in the door and patched over.
How did the window get broken?
We had a really long windstorm for a few days that continued, and the back door, it doesn't close all the way, and the wind caught it, and it ended up breaking the glass.
May I see either the bill or the invoice for fixing it?
I don't have that, Your Honor.
Well, how am I supposed to make a determination of how much it cost to fix it?
I suppose you can't.
Suppose not. Okay, so we have $1,283. You have a counterclaim. Return of funds for renovation. What is that for?
The return of funds that Mr. Allison kept of mine.
$1,200, what did I say? $83.74. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Honor,
We're finished.
I would like to ask that my countersuit involves more than just money.
We're done. $1,283.74. We're finished.
Parties are excused. Step out.
I'm glad that I could get something back. She knows the system. She knows how to play it. That's how we ended up here. I was put out of my house for 108 days. I lost my cat for 108 days. Take care of yourself before you try to take care of others.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Schofield, Follansbee versus Nelson. Step forward.
Natasha Schofield and her father, Michael Follansbee, are suing their neighbor, Leona Nelson, for tree services, harassment, and invasion of privacy.
Who's going to speak?
She will.
And you are Miss Schofield?
Yes, ma'am.
You both own the property,
Correct.
And you live together?
Yes.
And the property is adjacent to Miss Nelson's property that you own?
Yes.
And there is a tree that's on your property?
Yes, ma'am.
And the tree, according to you, hangs over your property?
Some of the branches do, Your Honor.
I'd like to see a picture of it.
Can I say something about the tree, Your Honor?
Shh. No, don't tell me anything about the tree. I just want to see visualize what we're talking about. I see a lot of trees. Is this the tree that you're talking? And this is your house?
The White House is mine.
Okay, so some of these branches hang over your roof?
My roof and my backyard and my driveway.
Okay.
She complains about all the trees.
What?
She complains about all the trees.
Well, she's talking about this tree right now. And if it hangs over your property, trim it.
Yes, so I tried to do that. However, Miss Nelson put things on the Exeter Facebook page along with our co-op's Facebook page saying that I am not.
You do live in a co-op?
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
Oh, just a second. That's a different story.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you have a letter, Ms. Schofield, from the board, it says that they are allowing you to trim the trees and they've given you permission. Stop shaking your head.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Natasha Schofield and her father, Michael Follansbee, claim living next to neighbor Leona Nelson is a nightmare. Leona's countersuing for damages to her house and property and harassment.
Okay, so you don't own your home.
Yes, we do.
Well, not if you live in a cooperative. You own shares in a cooperative. Not in this, what state do you live in?
New Hampshire, and basically what it is a company talks a mobile home park into letting the residents do the rules instead of having an owner do the rules.
So it's a mobile home park?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you pay rent or maintenance to an organization for the land?
Yes.
Yes.
We lease the lot. We don't pay rent.
Just a second. Then you can't cut the tree. That's something that the cooperative has to do. And let the cooperative deal with it. And if you don't like that, sue the cooperative. There must be a president of the cooperative, and there must be a co-op board. Is there a co-op board?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is there a president of the co-op board?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's just the board president. There's no president.
I just said the board president.
I thought you meant president and board.
No. There's a board and the president of the board.
Yes,
And if the president of the board allows a hazardous condition to be maintained, you sue them. You don't sue her.
Your Honor, I went to the board. They told me that we would have to pay for the trimming of the branches because there wasn't any money in the fund.
Just a second. Well, if you have a letter, Ms. Schoenfeld, from the board that says that they are allowing you to trim the trees, which you own, and they've given you permission to do, stop shaking your head. Stop. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, ma'am.
And if they've given you permission to do that, but they've said, you're right, go ahead and do it, but we have no money in our fund to do that. If you want to do it and take that expense on yourself, we give you permission to do that because you're just lessees of the land. Then do it. And if what you're complaining about is that she wrote on her Facebook page or somebody's Facebook page, you better not touch my trees, I can't do anything about that.
I actually went out and hired the company to come in, and they were told to leave her property.
She told them.
Then the co-op board has to deal with her.
Yes.
That's not for me to deal with her. That's for the co-op board to deal with her and say to her, we, not you, own this property, and we are going to be there. The president of the board is there when you hire a company and says to the people who are going to trim the tree, this is our property, you may trim the tree. You can't get me involved with her because she's doing the wrong thing. What do you want me to do with her?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
All I want to know is, do you own the land?
No.
Then if you don't own the land, you can't tell anybody to get off the land.
Well, I also went to the...
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Natasha Schofield and her father, Michael Follansbee, claim living next to neighbor Leona Nelson is a nightmare. Leona's countersuing for damages to her house and property and harassment.
Okay. All I want to know is, do you own the land?
No.
Good. Then if you don't own the land, you can't tell anybody to get off the land, is what I'm telling you.
Well, I also went to the co-op board.
Good.
And they said that...
Don't tell me what they said.
Okay, well...
I don't care what they told you. I'm telling you.
Okay.
She's allowed to trim property because if you prevent her...
Okay, we're not allowed to. There's a rule that says we can't.
I'm telling her, if she gets a letter from the board, then she can do it. And you can't stop her.
That's true.
Right. And if you say that there's a rule that you can't trim trees, then they're not going to give her the letter. I don't have to speculate into all that. Now, you have a counterclaim for harassment.
Because Michael keeps harassing me and he doesn't live there. He lives in New Jersey.
So?
We have a whole set of rules for the co-op. You can't own a home where we live unless you live in it, and he lives in New Jersey.
Okay, so you notify the co-op board not to live there. What else?
Well, like the cats and dogs. It's like we have a cat and dog rule. You have to have the cats in the house, and you can't have the dog outside unless you're with the dog. And her animals are in my yard. I have a video of her cat tearing up my screen.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. I'd like to see a picture of her cat destroying your property. She's responsible for that. Do you have a picture of the ripped screen?
Just the video, and there's a picture of the cat. Maybe you can see it better.
No. Listen to me. I asked you a simple question. Do you have a picture of a ripped screen?
Just in that picture.
There's nothing in this picture.
Well, that's
I need to see a picture of the damage to the screen. That you don't see here. And by the way, I would keep my cat inside. You have a hostile neighbor. And if you love your cat, I would keep your cat
Ma'am, I asked her about that one
indoors.
time.
I don't ask you anything. All I asked you is, first,
yes, ma'am, I thought
what's next?
Well, she actually told me that she doesn't think cats should be inside, and that's
We're
why
done.
the cat
Thank
was
you very
out.
much. Your case is dismissed.
Wait a
Social
minute,
counterclaim. We're done.
Wait a
Thank
minute.
you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Leona is harassing me and my children.
She's harassed me to the point where I can't even work now.
We called the police. They came out and they charged her.
I'm being treated for high blood pressure and panic attacks.
We should be able to enjoy our backyard.
This woman is going to kill me.
Her daughter can't settle down.
The two older children are fathered by one man, and the two younger children are fathered by another man.
2 years ago, you had a different boyfriend. Talk about dysfunction.
And she's still on the move.
I had a different boyfriend when we moved into this house.
You understand that that's not particularly good for your children.
Yes, ma'am.
Especially when you have a revolving door of boyfriends in your house. I mean, you do it anyway. That makes you pretty selfish.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Raylene Eppert is suing her daughter, Melissa Ray Bowen, for unpaid utility bills.
It's case number 10 on the calendar, the matter of Eppert versus Bowen.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Bowen, Miss Eppert is your mother. And you have children. How many?
I have 4.
How old are they?
17, 15, 11, and 5.
Is your current boyfriend the father of any of those children?
No, ma'am.
When did you ask your mother to put a utility bill in your name?
I never asked her. It was an agreement between her and my grandmother.
Did you move in with your grandmother?
Yes, I did.
When?
I believe May of 2016, 17.
Did she have a house?
She didn't know. We moved into a house together. She was living with my mother.
Okay, so let's go back. You and your grandmother moved into a place at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandmother had been living with your mother.
Yes.
For how long?
For years. I don't know exactly how long.
And in 2016, you had a 3-year-old, a 9-year-old. And did you have the same boyfriend or no boyfriend?
I had a different boyfriend when we moved into this house.
You understand that that's not particularly good for your children.
Mm-hmm.
You do understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I mean, you do it anyway. That makes you pretty selfish.
I don't think I'm selfish.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. If you have 4 children, none of whom are fathered by your current boyfriend. 2 years ago, you had a different boyfriend who was also not the... That goes like this with your kids. Okay. So you moved in with your grandmother into a place at the same time. Was there a lease?
Yes.
In whose name was the lease?
It was in both of our names.
Is this your grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you stand up, please? What's your last name?
Reet.
Now, when you moved into a house with your granddaughter, did you ever have a conversation with your daughter about putting the utility bill in your name?
No, I was told at a later date that's what had happened.
Told by whom?
I was told by my granddaughter and confirmed later by my daughter.
That it was put in your daughter's name?
Yes, she set it up.
When you were living with your granddaughter, were you sharing the utility bill with her? You splitting it down the middle?
No, I paid a portion of the rental agreement, and then I paid for food and other incidentals there.
What was the rent on the house?
When we first moved in, it was about $1,100 or $1,200.
And how much did you pay?
Don't remember, because there were 3 of us, and it was split between myself, Melissa, and her other boyfriend that lived there. I think it was around $500.
Were all of her 4 children living with her?
Pardon me?
Were all of her children living with her?
They lived there with her, yes.
Were there 4 children in 2016 living with your granddaughter?
Yes.
They were off and on living there. They were not there the whole month. Of the 2 older
I didn't ask
children.
where they were the whole month. They slept there. Where did they go to school from?
By their dad's house.
Well, if they went to school from their father's house, that means they slept at their father's house during the week, unless he lives in the same school district.
I would drive them to school every morning on the weeks that I had them.
Your Honor, her 2 older children Not the 2 younger children. The 2 older children are fathered by one man, and the 2 younger children are fathered by another man.
So the now 15 and 17-year-old would split their time.
Yes.
But
I
not
helped
the 2
with
younger ones.
I helped arrange their child custody, and they had, okay.
That's all I had.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just figuring out the financials. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 of you full-time. You, your then boyfriend, not the current boyfriend, and 2 of your children full-time, 2 of your children part-time, on the one hand, paying rent, and then your grandmother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you paid a portion of the rent. How much did you pay?
Around $500.
Not around. I don't want to know around. How much did you give her every month?
Honestly, it was 500 and something, and I can't remember the dollar amount.
How much did your grandmother give you every month towards rent?
$500.
Well, that should cover her portion of the rent and also utilities. You're 6 people. She's 1 person. Okay. Who actually wrote out the check for utilities?
We paid it online.
Who
But it
paid
came out of
online?
my account after she gave me the cash.
Great. Now, which month didn't your
August bill? She turned off the power the day my grandmother moved out the house, but
Just-
I was paid in full up until she moved out. And then I started the bills on August 1st.
Just a second. Can you show me a statement where there was outstanding utility bill that you were held responsible for?
So my name's on the top, and that's her address. That's just the power. The gas is right here, and it's not as clear as how they broke that one down.
Just a second.
Where she lived.
Did you pay this bill?
Yes, ma'am.
You have proof that you paid this bill?
Yeah, if you flip it over, what they did was I have a payment plan, and what they do is they pull it right out of my payment plan.
I have a
And
bank
it
statement
shows-
proving that she did fraud on my account to attempt to supposedly pay said bills without my knowledge.
Okay. Did she do that?
Huh?
No. Was she successful in trying
No,
to
I
pay?
stopped the payments.
Was she successful in trying to pay it out of your account? The answer is no. You stopped it.
I stopped the payments.
Okay, so you owe her $332.10.
But what about my counterclaim? For
$332.
the false statement.
Just a second. I haven't gotten to your counterclaim yet,
Okay.
which is going to be very interesting. Talk about dysfunction all over the place. All right, so let me see if I understand your counterclaim. So far, this is your counterclaim.
There's 2 bills, power and gas. So the other one's $34.18. There's 2 separate documents you have that are stapled, each separate stapled.
Oh, okay. Got it. 366. Now, the counterclaim is slightly more interesting than a utility bill. Forget hacking into your account. You turn that back. Filing a false CPS and child abuse charge. Okay, so let me see if I understand what you're suggesting in that. What you're suggesting is that you didn't want your grandmother living with you anymore because, according to you, the FBI was investigating her.
They were.
So you told her to leave.
Yes.
In retaliation for that, your grandmother called your mother and told your mother that your current boyfriend was abusing your children. That's what you said.
Yes, and we were
Sure,
clear.
As a result of that, your mother called for a police check, which resulted in a Child Protective Services investigation.
No, she called CPS after we were cleared because the cops wouldn't do anything. And it's right here in the police statement that I have.
Perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. So let me understand this. Your mother gets a call from her mother, who lives with you, who tells her daughter that your boyfriend is... Your mother has several choices. She can ask you, is your boyfriend abusing the children? But she would respond, absolutely not.
I told her no.
Just a second. That's akin to doing nothing. Or she can call the authorities and say, I want an investigation because I understand from my mother that there may be abuse going on in the house.
No, ma'am, that is not what happened.
Your Honor, I
just said that's what you say what happened.
She had come down and asked to see the kids at 11:30 at night, and I wouldn't let her see them due to them being asleep. She told me then that if I wouldn't let her see the kids, that she would call the cops to do a welfare check. They showed up about midnight 30, woke up my kids, questioned everybody, pulled us out of the house, and we were cleared that night. My grandma admitted in the police report that no abuse was done.
Let me read to you what you say. Your mother, in her statement, by the way, says, in August of 2018, I received an unsettling call from the house. That, I assume, is the unsettling call from her mother, advising her that something was going on with the boyfriend. I assume this boyfriend, since it's now 2018 and you've moved on. Your answer says, in June, I discovered the FBI was investigating my grandmother. So I wanted her out of the house and away from my children. My grandmother didn't want to leave and told my mother that my boyfriend was abusing my children. Mother decided to believe her. Put your hand down. And called the police to do a welfare check. That's exactly what I would have done. Exactly what I would have done. That's what I would hope that every person would do if they got such a phone call from their parent, especially when you have a revolving door of boyfriends in your house.
I do not have a revolving door of boyfriends.
You owe your mother $366. Your counterclaim's dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Skiba versus Wolf. Step forward.
Kathleen Skiba is suing her former friend, Joshua Wolf, for money owed for a Crown Victoria.
Mr. Wolf, what kind of work do you do?
I do construction.
Do you work for yourself or for a company?
I work for myself.
Who do you live with?
I live with my son.
And he goes to school?
Yeah.
Now, you used to work as a caretaker for the plaintiff.
Yes.
From what year to what year?
I was not year to year. I worked for Miss Skiba for one job. It was fixing her toilet and installing her furnace.
And you did that when?
Last October.
When did you start to rent her home from her?
October 1st.
Of last year?
2018, yes.
And did you have a written lease with her?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that lease?
Yes. It is a land contract, it's not a lease.
It's a land contract, ma'am, not a lease.
I see it. So what you were doing is you were renting to buy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you both signed this rent to buy, and the contract was made September 4th, 2018.
Yes.
And you were buying the property for $30,000.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were paying interest at 6% a year. And the monthly payments were $350.
Yes, ma'am.
All very neatly in here. Now, during the course of this rent-to-purchase agreement, you were paying her rent every month?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
When did he not pay you rent?
He paid 2 months' rent since last year. I received 2 payments that my mother got, and that's it. And then one...
Do you have, just a second, since October, when you moved in,
yes,
do you have proof that you made payments on the rent?
I do.
I'd like to see them.
They don't have the evidence with me.
Well, that's what I need.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The agreement was that he was going to drive you around, and in exchange for that, you would give him the car.
Nothing was ever given to him.
I will determine whether you sold him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kathleen Skiba says her former friend and tenant, Joshua Wolf, stiffed her on the purchase of a car. Joshua's countersuing for stolen tools and false allegations of domestic abuse.
Do you have proof that you made payments on the rent?
I do.
I'd like to see them.
They don't have the evidence with me.
Well, that's what I need.
Okay.
I have that I have already took him to court, the evidence that he hasn't paid it and that he has to pay.
I'd like to see it. When was the last payment that you received for rent?
Well, I actually told him I wasn't going to take no more payments.
No.
The last payment I got from him was in January.
Of what year?
Of 19, this year.
I'm not interested in that. Hey.
Okay.
We have October, November, and December. 3 months' rent was before January. Now, did you receive 3 months' rent? October, November, and December.
3 months, correct.
In what month did you advise Mr. Wolf that you had to move back into the house?
I advised him that I was coming back there.
What day and month?
It was around, I was really sick from where I was living. I had to get my lungs flushed.
Just a second. I'm not asking you for your story.
All right.
In what month did you tell him that you were coming back to the house?
February.
Now, in what month did you come back to the house?
It's the end of February.
February.
Correct.
Now, this is what the case is about. It is your claim that you came back to the house and that when you came back to the house, you sold him an old car.
Yes.
You sold him the car for $1,250. He hasn't paid you for the car. The defendant says you didn't sell him the car. You came back to the house lived in the house. It was supposed to be only for a week because you weren't well. You were supposed to look for an apartment. The agreement was that he was going to drive you around, and he would come to where you were and take you back to the house. And in exchange for that, you would give him the car. That's what you said, and you actually signed the title over to him.
Yeah,
that would be a
handed
yes.
him the title.
That would be a yes.
Yes.
Now, when he rented your house, in what state was the house?
Michigan.
And where did you move to?
I was staying in Livonia, Michigan, and I came there because I was needing a surgery.
No, listen to me.
Ma'am, nothing was ever given to
Just
him.
listen to my questions.
Gotcha.
I will determine whether you sold him the car or gave him the car. That's what we're here for.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So I picked him up and...
So he actually stayed over.
He stayed over.
Working for you to help you move.
Right, because I'm disability, ma'am.
Listen, that's unfortunate for you, but as far as the law is concerned, that means and I don't care.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kathleen Skiba says her former friend and tenant, Joshua Wolf, stiffed her on the purchase of a car. Joshua's countersuing for stolen tools and false allegations of domestic abuse.
Now, did the defendant come to your home where you were living to bring you back to the house that he was renting to own in the car?
No, I picked him up in my car.
You drove?
I drove in my Camaro.
Just, you drove, you picked him up. That's what you started to tell me.
Yes.
What month was that? February?
Yes.
So you drove from where you were in February and picked him up. And then what did you do after you picked him up?
We drove back the next day and
You drove back?
With the car.
Just a second.
And my
Sure.
U-Haul.
You picked him up and drove him to where you were staying. That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
Where you had rented a U-Haul.
Yes.
That's a yes or a no?
That would...
Picked him up to drive back. How many hours or miles was
They
it?
stayed the night. We left first thing in the morning, about 6 hours.
So he drove back with you 6 hours to where you were. You stayed at his home.
No, he stayed at my home.
No. He was renting to own the house. So
well,
you were staying...
I was renting where I was living. So I picked him up, and he came and stayed the night at my house, and we drove back in the morning.
Just a second. So he actually stayed over.
He stayed over.
Working for you to help you move.
Right, because I'm disability, ma'am.
Listen, that's unfortunate for you, but as far as the law is concerned, that means and I don't care.
Right.
You picked him up, drove him back 6 hours to your house with his son?
Yes.
Yes, the two of them drove back 6 hours. Both of them slept over at your house, helped you load up the U-Haul from the house, then drove back to the house that he was renting to own that you said you had to stay in for a while, or whatever. Because your lawsuit has to do with $1,250 for a car. All I want you to show me is proof of how much you paid the defendant and his son to move you.
Well...
No.
I don't have anything because they said they would do it for him never giving me any rent, basically, because he never pays me nothing. And he stayed there also.
No, that told me. You told me he moved in October, and he paid October, November, and December's rent. And you gave him the car in exchange for moving you 12 hours with his son. Not only him, he brought his son to move your stuff.
Because
in
he didn't
exchange
have a
for that, your
license,
case is
ma'am,
dismissed.
and I
We're
never
done.
gave him
We're done with your
nothing.
case.
Would
Listen
you like
to me.
to see the
We're
pictures
done.
of the legal activity going in my house? That's why I left.
Listen to me. We are done
He's
with
still
your
in
case.
my home.
I don't care.
He owes me thousands.
Listen to me. I don't care.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Your lawsuit here has to do with a car.
That he
period.
owes me.
And I find that that car, as he indicates, since you gave him no money to move you in February...
But he also lived in my home for months with no money also, ma'am, before.
Very good. You have title to the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's your car. Now
he can pack the boxes in it and leave my home. That's great.
Now, you have a counterclaim for your tools.
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Very good. You still living in the house?
Yes, I am.
Show me the last rent check you sent to her.
Actually, I don't have the last rent check because I told...
Over.
Okay.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Goodbye.
What is our excuse? You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He can actually pack his boxes and get out of my house when we get home because I have an attorney, and he will be out real soon.
It's unfortunate that I left my receipts inside my folder, inside my backpack.
Because he won't pay. He's still not paying. It's been almost a year.
Because she's full of fraudulent everything. I paid every bill except the last 3 months of that house.
He was just supposed to pay me. I'm not going to give a stranger a car.
She threw away over $5,000 worth of my tools. That's my livelihood.
Oh, he had drugs all growing in my house, and he got rid of them.